welcome you to downtown Houston. The roof is closed today at Minute Maid Park as the Astros play the middle game of a three-game series against the Cleveland Indians. They will see these Indians a lot, playing them 7 times in a span of 9 games. The Indians, with a loss last night, now under 500, yet still in first place in the AL Central. The Astros are now 29-17, 3 games in front in the AL West. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another afternoon of Astros baseball. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, of course, and our guest analyst for the day, Jeff Bagwell. Baggy, great to have you back in the booth again. This Astros team has been playing pretty good baseball lately.
They have. They've done real well. Been on the road, obviously won some games out there in Anaheim, come back here to play a tough team in Cleveland, but they've had to really work at it. One thing we do have is we have great starting pitching, and that keeps us in the game every time. That keeps us close. It gives us a chance to go out there and win.
Yeah, even in the 2 losses, a 1-0 loss and a 2-1 loss. Plummer, today it's Dallas Keuchel's turn to get things going. It seems like each guy keeps carrying that mantle forward.
Yeah, and you obviously want Dallas Keuchel to pitch here in Minute Maid Park. He's got great numbers in his career, but May has really been an epiphany for him. He's done a great job of working on those edges all season long, but now what we're starting to see is him be a little more deceptive with that sinking fastball on that arm side of the plate, sinking down off the plate, creating swings and misses. But what it also does is it sets up that cut fastball on the glove side of part of the plate. He isn't necessarily going with the four-seam fastball inside the right-handed hitters. He is setting them up with just a little bit of spin, starting on that inside corner and getting in on the hands of right-handed hitters.
Today, his opponent is one of the toughest customers they will face all year, Baggy, Corey Kluber.
Yeah, I don't know if I want too much of that. I think he won the Cy Young last year. He's got 2 devastating pitches. He's got a 93, 94 mile an hour sinker and a devastating, I don't know if it's a slider, slurve, or whatever you want to call it, going the opposite way. He's a great competitor. You're not going to see a lot of emotions out of there. But good test for us today.
Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup, Kluber versus Keuchel, game 2 of this 3-game series. We will have more from Minute Maid Park as we get you ready for baseball on a Saturday afternoon right after this. no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Volkswagen. Both of these teams with outstanding starting rotations. When we come back, we'll be joined by Preston Wilson as he and Jeff Bagwell talk about starters. Astros. Now it's time for our Lowe's whole team together, and the starting five for the Houston Astros, as good as we have seen in a long time. The top three in ERA, all sub-2, Verlander, Cole, and Morton. The Indians don't even face Verlander or Cole in this series. Dallas Keuchel gets the ball today, and Lance McCullers Jr. will get the ball tomorrow. Preston Wilson, quite a group.
It's an unbelievable group, and they're doing things at a historic pace. They're doing things that you haven't seen really in the live ball era other than about 2 years or so throughout that whole span. And it's amazing when you go out there and you see a guy with a 1.05 ERA, 1.35 ERA, 1.7 ERA. These guys are doing it, but they all do it a little bit differently. Verlander's got that big nasty curveball. He's working fastball at the top of the zone. Garrett Cole is a little bit similar. But when you get to guys like Keuchel and Charlie Martin, all of these guys have nasty weapons, but they attack you a little bit differently. But they all seem to have that one-upmanship mentality as far as that last guy go out there, I'm going to try to outdo him, and it goes on and on down the line. I like it because it's that healthy competition where there is that, I want to do better than the next guy, but it has a positive connotation to it. Now, I've played behind some good pitching staffs, and I'm going to ask Jeff Bagwell. Bagwell, when you play behind some of these guys, sometimes you get caught up in being a fan, and maybe you're not as in tune to your offensive game plan as you should be. Have you ever seen instances such as that?
Yeah, I have. I played. We got 1998. We got Randy Johnson in a trade, and obviously Rocket came here in 2004, 3, whatever it was there. And you know, it's a different atmosphere when you go out there when those guys pitch. It's almost like a show. It's just a little bit different. You know, two of the greatest pitchers of all time. And you know, I think your game gets a little bit where you concentrate a little bit more. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I kind of felt. I kind of had to be on my game, as you said. And I remember Roger, I was down in the dugout back down below, and he's yelling at me saying, man, come on, Bags, I need you right now. I said, damn, Rock, I'm trying. I'm not trying to strike out or hit a ground ball to short. And Randy was the same way. And, you know, it's fun to do that, but it really is kind of different or difficult to believe that when we go out there, we don't score runs for those guys. But, you know, I guess that's what makes them so great is even if we don't, they go out and do their job and we scratch enough to win.
And the biggest culprit has been with Dallas Keuchel on the mound with the offense not scoring for him. And Blummer, good to see Keuchel making his 10th start of the year.
It is. It's always good to see Dallas Keuchel out there. He's rounding into form. That month of April was not kind to him at all. He went 1-4 with a 4.00 ERA. Since then, here in May, with 3 starts under his belt, he is now 2-1 with a 1.64. That is what we are accustomed to seeing from Dallas Keuchel. The interesting thing for me is that ground ball rate for him is down to around 57%. We are really accustomed to seeing that ground ball percentage around 67% for Dallas Keuchel when he's going extremely well, pitching down on the bottom part of the zone.
The games Keuchel has not won, the team has scored either 0 or 1 run in all 5 of those games he has started that the Astros have lost. Here is the Indians lineup this afternoon. Francisco Lindor was on a roll before he got here to Minute Maid Park. Had an 0-for-4 game last night. Michael Brantley is in left field. Jose Ramirez is the third baseman. The DH, Edwin Encarnacion. He hit that home run yesterday, amounting for the only run for the Indians. Brandon Guyer gets the start against the lefty. He's in right field. Yan Gomes is the catcher. Jason Kipnis at second base. Eric Gonzalez starts at first, and Rajai Davis is in center field. One of those games where an early run could be rather large with Keuchel facing Kluber.
3 Cy Youngs between these 2 pitchers, 2014 and 17 for Corey Kluber. Dallas Keuchel got his in 2015.
Lindor, switch hitter, batting righty against Dallas. He is batting .387 right-handed this year, and he takes a called strike.
Dallas is the kind of guy that, you know, he's the art of pitching. He doesn't overpower you or anything like that, but he moves the ball to both sides of the plate, keeping the hitters off balance. You know, they try and guess with him. Dallas obviously tries to guess the other way. So he's very much a guy that goes about it differently than our other 4 starters. But it's nice to see, and obviously it works. But he got a Cy Young award, and I think he started out 11-0 last year. So Dallas has done great, and you know, it's going to be a tough game, you know, offensively for both sides. So you got to play well.
On an 0-2 pitch, diving attempt by Bregman, gets up and throws in time. What a way to start this one. Alex Bregman robbing Lindor on the 0-2 ground ball.
It's a joy to watch this left side of the infield, and Alex Bregman has proven to be a very good third baseman. On our Mattress Firm Supermo, you can see the decision on the hop. Kind of in mid-dive, trying to figure out where that baseball is, gloves it, and fires a seed over there to first base, where you've got to have a first baseman who's willing and ready to make that pick when you need it.
Yeah, you should tell Yuri. I'm sure he didn't see himself catch that ball, but that's that one on the glove side. That's the toughest one for a right-handed first baseman. What a heck of a play by Bregman. He just keeps getting better over there. He really does.
He does. And the first step in working with Joe Espada is always a lot of fun to talk about these guys. And Joe Espada actually said something to me that was interesting, is that Alex Bregman is a shortstop moving to third base. So in doing so, what Joe Espada said is he moved him a little bit deeper on the dirt part of the field.
Brantley going the other way, hits the top of the wall and goes out. That ball was lofted towards the Crawford boxes and literally bounced on top of the wall, just enough for a home run.
Give it, take it away. Last night we got one of those with George. Brantley got this one too.
And part of the reason that Dallas has been so good in May, as you see the location of that pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone, is in his last 2 starts, he has not given up a home run. And that is now the 9th home run he's given up this season. 7 of them to right-handed hitters and now 2 to left-handed hitters.
Well, Baggy's right, though. That's one of those Minute Maid Park Crawford box home runs, where as a pitcher, you're just thinking.
It's tough, I know, but when you're in the dugout and George gets one, you're happy. So it works both ways, unfortunately, but it is what it is in this ballpark. But it's a beautiful ballpark. And we can do the same thing to them, too. So
Indians scratch for the first run on the solo home run. Here's Jose Ramirez swinging through that pitch.
I was talking to Blummy earlier. No, actually, Joe Espada, excuse me. This kid, Ramirez, is a heck of a player. I don't know if many people know that much about him, but he can do it all.
It's funny how certain guys around the league don't get as much attention as they should. Ramirez is one of those guys.
He really is. You know, he had a great year last year. He was in the top of the MVP voting last year. Like you said, not a lot of people get to see him because it's Cleveland a little bit. They don't see as much about Cleveland. They're hovering around 500, but this kid does it all. He's a switch hitter. I remember his bat last night against Charlie. Fouled off a curveball and took a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
There you go.
Yeah.
right down the line for a double.
He's a good player.
Marwin digs it out as Ramirez follows up the home run with a double down the line. Hit the ball hard. Starting defense presented by Xfinity for the Astros today. Behind Dallas Keuchel, the outfield, Marwin Gonzalez in left. Tony Kemp gets the start in center field, and George Springer in right. Alex Bregman's already made a great play to start the game. Carlos Correa on the left side. Jose Altuve and Yuli Gurriel on the right side, and Brian McCann behind the plate. Here's Edwin Encarnacion. He hit his 10th home run of the year in last night's game, tying it at 1 before the Astros scored 2 in the 7th and added another in the 8th to win that game 4-1.
And Ramirez is a guy that's a tough out for Dallas because he doesn't try and do too much. If the ball's in, he's going to hit it. You know, he's going to pull it. If it's away, he'll hit it the other way. He's a complete hitter. He's a tough out for Dallas, and actually to everybody as well as he played last year and coming to his own as one of their forces on this team.
Yeah, you're right about that. He's 3 for 7 now against Dallas in his career as McCann goes out to talk to Keuchel. You mentioned the Indians coming in with a record below 500 after what you saw last year. That's got to surprise you a little bit.
Well, it does. You know, I think a little bit. You know, we talk about our club, and you know, we were so spoiled last year seeing them go out and play the way they did. We haven't scored as many runs, but our pitching staff's been great. Haven't really found our rhythm offensively. Cleveland's the same way, and I know they play in some bad weather, you know, to start the season. You know, but you know, all teams have to play in that have outside stadiums in the Midwest. So, you know, I don't think they've done with it. But if you look at their averages and their RBIs and stuff, they're not that bad. They're just not winning games. And I think they've had some injuries in their starting rotation. Obviously, their bullpen has been hurt. The guys are starting to come back now, but they're a good baseball team. And they're not in a great division. They're going to be right there at the end.
You know what's crazy to me about the Cleveland Indians is that if you move the Oakland A's out of the American League West and put them in the Central, they'd be a game ahead of these guys in first place. So you know about playing in the National League Central where there's been a lot of competition.
Encarnacion deep to center field, and this ball's off the wall. Kemp plays it there, being waved around as Ramirez, and he will score as the Indians take a 2-0 lead on a deep double off the bat of Edwin Encarnacion.
Well, there's tons of competition in that division. And I think all in baseball, I think this year more than last year, you're going to see a lot more competitive balance in a lot of the clubs. Everybody's gotten better. They really have. And, you know, how they got that way, whether it's, you know, for trades or bringing up younger kids, you see a lot of these teams are evenly played.
Looks like that ball leaked over the plate a little bit on Dallas.
What's interesting, though, is still down in the zone. And Baggy and I have talked a little bit. The comparison that Dallas Keuchel kind of pops up for both of us is Tom Glavine.
Yes.
But that's a guy who lived at the bottom part of the zone. But you would adjust your swing to be effective in the bottom part of the zone if you know a guy's going to be down there frequently, right?
Yeah, if I'm facing Glavine, I'm pretty much selling out to right center and right field. I mean, I'm not going to pretty much hit a home run or anything like that. So that philosophy, when I go up to home plate, that's my philosophy. I'll take my base hit to right. Maybe I can hit a double to the gap in right center. But, you know, Glavine's not going to let you take him deep.
He didn't give in for
Nah,
anything.
he doesn't. He's just going to stay out there, change speeds on his changeup and his fastball, and stay down in the zone.
And the reason you're thinking of going the other way is to let that ball travel
yeah, you have
a little
to.
bit longer.
Otherwise, I'm just going to be hitting ground balls to short the entire time. And you see a guy hit a double off of Glav, I guarantee he's going to walk this next guy, Glavine will, and set up a double play. I've seen it for years, him doing that, because right-handers have a very, very hard time of selling out, hitting the ball to right field. They really do, especially guys that are power guys. To get them to actually stay back, and hit a line drive to right, you know, it's very, very difficult. I think left-handers do it a little bit better. Right-handers just have a tough time doing it.
So on that sequence, you're saying Dallas isn't going to give in.
I don't know. I don't think he is. I think he's looking for a double play ball right here.
So he doesn't mind walking Geyer there on 4 pitches and now facing Yan Gomes.
Right.
And Geyer's job on the Cleveland Indians is specifically to go out and get left-handed pitching. That's his job. He's not going to be that guy that's going to match up too well against right-handed pitching.
And guys like Dallas, you're not going to send up, big thugs up there trying to hit the ball, on the oxy sign up there.
Yeah, you're doing him a favor.
Yes, you are.
Gomes goes the other way and fouls one.
But as I talk about Glavine, the game has changed a lot because the strike zone has changed a lot. You don't get as many pitches on the outside part of the plate down in the strike zone. That ball has to be on the plate. And if you don't get it down as much, it's tough. So Dallas has to do other things. Throw a curveball. He has to throw cutters in. That'll work.
That got in on the hands. It'll be a pop-up and an infield fly. Seems like Dallas, more than anybody, and Verlander's right up there too, but it seems like Dallas is really good at making in-game adjustments as well.
Well, he is, and he has to. Justin does a great job, and we sitting there, we're talking about our staff, which is historic, really, how great they've started out. But Dallas has to do that because Dallas can't make as many mistakes because of the velocity. Cole or Verlander or McCullers or Charlie go out there and throw a ball right down the middle, and a guy will pop it up and miss it. Dallas doesn't have the luxury of doing that. That's why he's such an elite pitcher. We say pitcher, and then there's a pitchers that pitch. Tom Glavine, Maddox, Dallas, those guys are pitchers. They can't get away with stuff that's right down the middle of the plate. They don't have the velocity to do that.
Here's Jason Kipnis batting with 2 on and 2 out. Before that pop-up off the bat of Yan Gomes, the softest hit baseball of the game was the home run.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. By a lot, too.
Well, it's the old adage. Hit them where they ain't.
Hit them into the Crawford.
Yes.
Yes. 0-2 pitches inside. It's 1-2. 2 early runs for the Indians today with Corey Kluber on the mound. Dallas trying to keep it right there, facing Jason Kipnis. Kipnis on the year batting 171, 255. Lefty on lefty this season. And he sends one into right center field for a base hit. That will score Encarnacion. Geyer heading to third. The play to second is not going to be in time. And the Indians have scored 3 in the first inning against Keuchel.
He went slider away, fastball away. Fastball inside, well off the plate to kind of back Kipnis off. But for me, in a 2-strike count, this is just too good of a pitch. You'd like to see that a little more starting on the edge and breaking off the plate. And that one stays baseball pretty much on that entire outer third.
Yeah, and he didn't try and do too much. Stay through it instead of trying to pull it down the right field line. That's good hitting. You can make mistakes. A lot of guys can do it no matter how hard you throw. You just got to get lucky. That's why we got a whole bunch of fielders out of there. Coming into this series, Cleveland, like you said, they haven't had the greatest record, but they're a good hitting team. They've been in the playoffs for a reason for the last few years, and a lot of the same players are on this team. So it's a challenge anytime you play them and you make mistakes like that. But you know what? Kluber can make mistakes too.
Plenty of game left.
Yes,
that is for sure.
The Indians, the best hitting team in baseball in the month of May. And they were shut down last night by Charlie Morton. Love Morton's comments afterwards. He talked about the swing and miss in the strike zone. He was, it's almost like he's surprised that his 4-seamer eats up hitters in the strike zone.
Well, if you talk to Charlie long enough, you understand. He's just, you don't feel like there's any emotion as far as I'm great and all that. I'm like, Charlie, you got a hammer and you got to throw 98 and you got sink and a changeup. You're pretty good, bro.
This one towards Correa on 2 big hops. Carlos makes the play. Indians do damage in the first, scoring 3. We head to the bottom half. George Springer right back at the top. Couple of RBIs in last night's game. Alex Bregman bats second. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa in the 3-4 spot. Brian McCann the catcher. Yuli Gurriel first base. Marwin Gonzalez good numbers against Kluber. Evan Gattis the DH, and Tony Kemp is in center field.
On the mound for the Cleveland Indians is Corey Kluber. Still putting up great numbers. Making his 10th start, 6-2. 2.34 ERA, 61 strikeouts in that 65 1/3 innings pitch. Still a great average against him. He's a guy that's going to come after you with the fastball. He has really developed a fantastic cutter that he's done a good job staying on the glove side with. And he'll back that up with an excellent curveball, the occasional changeup. But good numbers for Corey Kluber again to start this season.
George Springer leading things off. George started the day with a .294 batting average, a team high 9 home runs, and he's one behind Carlos Correa for the RBI lead with 28. And there's a ball the other way for a base hit to start this one for the Astros. After giving up 3 in the top half, that's a good way to get things going.
That's a great way to get things going, but it all kind of leads into something I wanted to talk to you about. We love George Springer, but do you at times see him overswing?
Oh, yes.
But this was beautiful on a cut fastball.
And he's done it recently. The last couple games, he got a base hit to right the other night, too. He's making a conscious effort to stay in right there. You know, and that's what you have to, when you're facing guys like Kluber, you got to take pretty much the approach that I have to become a better hitter. I got to hit the ball where it's pitched and go to the angles to right field like that. And if he does hang you and break a ball, then you can pull it. But you give him his credit for who he is. But you gotta grind in there. This is never an easy at bat off of him.
Called strike. Alex Bregman, the hitter.
Definitely give him the respect, but don't overthink it.
Don't, because that's when he'll throw a ball right down the middle.
Yeah, and you'll get beat.
You got to hit off his fastball. But as you saw right there, when he was 1-0, then he went with the cutter. That's his pitch that he's behind in the count. He's going to throw a little cutter that comes out like a fastball and just cuts 3 or 4 inches away. And George did a great job of staying with it and hitting to right.
When you say hit off the fastball, do you always go in with that approach, or is it 90% of the time?
No, it's 100, TK. Even if I know what's coming, I have to get my body ready to hit a fastball. Especially in today's game now, where you guys got guys throwing 97, 96 miles an hour. I have to be ready, and my body has to be ready. Otherwise, I'll jam myself on something else. I always hit off a fastball because I don't want to go back to the dugout, you know, when I missed the 2-1 fastball, 2-0 fastball, or 3-1 fastball, because I'm thinking of something different.
When this team, the Astros, at times have struggled early in the season, is that something that's been lacking?
Absolutely. We have seen throughout the entire year when we get 2-0, 3-1, 2-1, a lot of fastballs being either taken or fouled over the dugout here, and that just can't happen. If you look at our stats last year about how we hit off a fastball, we were the best in baseball at fastballs over, 94, 95 miles an hour. We were a great fastball hitting team. And that's why, you know, we hit off of fastballs, and our team average was better. It was 20 points at least better than every other average in baseball. I mean, that's a lot, 20. I'm not talking about a couple points and all that. It was over 20.
Right.
Because we did that. And that's the easiest pitch to hit is a fastball because it's straight.
They ever throw you curveballs or sliders in BP?
Yeah, one. Rich Gale when I was in Double-A because he was mad because people were hitting home runs off.
You say you took him deep?
Yeah.
But that's what Baggy's getting to, is that you practice hitting the straight pitch.
That's what you do.
Bregman called out as he went around, says home plate umpire Todd Tichenor.
I think Todd Tichenor the only one convinced of it. Maybe you went.
There's still one in the Astros dugout that you wouldn't mind him checking with the first base umpire.
You should always check.
I think that speaks for every player.
Yeah, I don't see how you can tell me where a strike is going to be called and see my bat head where that is. I just don't see how that's possible. It takes everybody. It's a win situation. The umpire doesn't get yelled at here. He's not going to get yelled at down there very often.
Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve takes a strike on the edge. Well, the daunting task in front of the Astros today, down 3-0, is that Corey Kluber has gone 21 straight starts, allowing 3 earned runs or fewer.
So you're saying he's pretty decent?
That's a lot of starts in a row.
Yeah, but so are we, though. So that's the cutter right there.
And that
looks just like a fastball, but moves about 4 inches away from your barrel.
And it's not necessarily a swing and miss strike or pitch, even though he got a swing and miss there.
No, it's to get in a count the ball off of your barrel. Matter of fact, I wanted to actually get rid of that pitch constitutionally wise when I played. I couldn't stand a cutter.
If you were commissioner, that'd be the first
Yeah,
rule.
it's got to go.
You would ban the cutter.
Yeah, I didn't like that pitch.
Well, it's funny he brings that up because my last year was 2012, and I think there was one pitch in 2012. I can't remember who threw it, but it was a 95-mile-an-hour cut fastball, and I kind of went to go get another bat after I was holding nothing but kindling, and I said, yeah, this might be it. If they keep throwing those pitches at 95 with that kind of movement, I'm good.
We got to get out of there.
And there's a regular fastball, and Jose takes it for a called strike. He wasn't sure if it was a strike, and he's a little mad at Todd Tichenor on his way back to the dugout.
And I don't know if he's arguing that pitch or a pitch previously. Strike one on that lower outside edge is the one he might be questioning a little bit, because we saw Dallas Keuchel not get one of those.
Yeah, and that's the frustration part that comes in.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about this, Blummer and Baggy, but for me, it was the slider. I can take the fastball, but I actually had somebody ask me if I could go back in history and change one thing. I skipped right over Slaver and went to the slider. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, my God. That is unbelievable. I'm not even going to comment on that.
I wasn't mentally prepared for that.
No, I'm not either. But I'm with you on getting rid of the slider, though.
And I realized that was selfish. So then after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should change what I said. But that's just how hard it is to hit a slider in the big leagues.
No, it is. It's ridiculous.
Ramirez makes the play on Correa.
Because once again, that comes out straight, and then it goes away from you.
3-0 after one.
On Royal Wedding Day, Baggy's favorite day, which Houston sports couple is most majestic? Currently, is it A, Harden and Chris Paul, or is it B, Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa up the middle for the Astros? Tweet your answers and go vote on that poll at ATT Sportsnet SW. Did you wake up early and watch that?
Oh, yeah. That was the first thing I was thinking about.
Was that part of your pregame prep?
It was. I was. All right, I'm not gonna get into that. My girls and my wife were watching that. Yes.
Plummer.
I was more disappointed that Rachel Zane left Mike Ross to go marry Prince Harry. You see how many people watch Suits at home. That's his big show that my wife and I watch is Suits, and that's
she was on that.
She was on that.
How about that knowledge?
It's unbelievable. That's why he's the best in the business.
It's right out there.
He doesn't get paid enough for all the knowledge he gives.
Because I'm with You're right.
Yeah.
Can you be my agent?
Yes.
I like that. And the only reason I bring that up is because I'm with Baggy. I could care less.
That's the ultimate born on third base and thought you hit a triple. Sorry, this is getting bad in the booth. I got to get out of here. I'm dropping my mic.
I think Preston set you up to wherever we go from this point forward, we're okay.
Yeah, we're way off the rails already.
Yeah.
Rashai Davis leading off the second inning in a 3-0 game. And that's a called third strike on the outside corner. Davis not sure about that pitch as he goes back to the dugout. Looked like Dallas painted it nicely on the corner.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Dallas is going to get these pitches down in the zone, and maybe Altuve yelling at Todd Titchener helped out a little bit. But if Dallas gets that zone down there, that's going to be awfully nice.
Yeah. That's what Dallas has to have. And then everything opens up after that. The cutter in, the curveball for a strike early in the count.
Here's Francisco Lindor. There's the call.
That's the curveball early in the count right there that the guy's not looking for. He's thinking about something different.
That's the get me over curveball that you can't react to if you're looking fastball, right?
Exactly right.
On the ground, Altuve was in the shift, so he tried to make the play but can't get there. And Lindor has his first hit of the series.
That's tough hitting right there. It's good hitting on Lindor's part. Take a changeup like that and sit back long enough to hit a ground ball.
Well, and it kind of goes to what you were speaking about, not only with Corey Kluber, who throws a little bit harder, but that's something you have to do with a Dallas Keuchel, who's kind of a finesse pitcher.
Yep.
Just take what's given to you, get your knocks out of the way, and maybe the next at bat or two, you get a mistake that you can actually drive.
Exactly right.
Lindor 5 for 7 in steals this year as Keuchel faces Michael Brantley. This is another guy you talk about, Ramirez. Brantley, when
he's got
healthy,
a very, very sound swing, but the big thing on him is staying healthy. But he doesn't. I mean, I saw him last night too. I mean, he's solid. He didn't do anything wrong. His hands stay right there and it's straight to the baseball. But he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's been the only issue in his career, is being able to play the full season.
See how soft his front foot is there?
So quiet, it's so simple. The front foot gets down nice and easy.
Guys, I got a little Michael Brantley history for you. His dad was one of my first hitting coaches, Mickey Brantley, when I started over with the Mets. And people don't know Mickey Brantley was the guy who Ken Griffey Jr. replaced in Seattle when he broke in.
Good stuff, though. That was good. That was real good.
So he's the modern day Wally Pipp.
Kind of.
Hey, I mean, if you're going to get your job taken away by somebody, let it be by a guy who's a Hall of Famer and end up hitting over 600-something home runs.
Sure.
Mickey Brantley and son Michael, now big leaguer.
You know, I wonder, back when, I don't want to keep going back to the 90s, but sometimes when Glavine would pitch, you would put more lefties in the lineup. Take away that outside corner that he's so used to pitching to. So I don't know how lefties are, hitting against Dallas this year, but I wonder if it takes away a lot of it. But Dallas pitches to both sides of the plate, so it could be different, where Glav used to just pitch to one side of the plate.
Well, I always felt like it was Glavine's second best pitch was the changeup.
Yes.
So that kind of took it away as far as the left-hander. He really didn't want to throw that changeup kind of floating out of the plate.
He doesn't have a feel for it out there. He has a feel for his glove side over here.
Yep.
Is this glove side lefty? Yeah. No.
Well, the arm side, he could throw his fastball to both glove side and arm side, but he was very good on that arm side with the fastball and the changeup.
That's where he was the entire time.
Didn't have a really good slider or curveball. I don't even know which one he had, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, he ended up trying it when he went to the Mets because the strike zone started to shrink a little bit on the outside part, so he had to make an adjustment.
You seen that's a Brave zone?
The old Brave zone?
Yes.
It's the size of that mound out there.
3-2 towards the middle. Correa takes it himself and turns 2 on Brantley, and that'll do it for the Indians in the second. A base hit wiped out on the double play. We head to the bottom half in a 3-0 game. Championship collection available at the ballpark and online all season long. The collection will feature pieces for men, women, and children. For more info, visit astros.com/thering. 3-0 game, bottom half of the second inning. Brian McCann will lead things off. The Indians employ the shift against McCann as more hits have been taken away from McCann in the shift than any other player since 2010. He seems baggy that he's been going more to the left field the last.
He does. I saw him in the clubhouse before I came up here. He took a swing yesterday that he fouled off, but it was an aggressive swing, like to hit it towards the Crawford boxes. So that's something that he's been working on. It's very hard when you've been a pull hitter your entire life and you see the entire infield over there. But he's working hard at it. He's doing great. I don't know. How do you not root for Brian McCann? He's one of the nicest people in the entire world. What a great teammate. And he works hard at it. He really does. It means so much to our ball club.
See that on-base percentage leading all American League catchers coming into today's.
You look at it.
Hey, man, that's insensitive.
So,
you know, you shut Blummer down on that for a little while.
I told the fans last time, it's nothing personal. Don't say it to your family or any of your parents or anything like that. It's only for this little box
Why
right
do you
here.
take it so negatively?
I don't know. I got to talk to my therapist to figure out how to do it.
Do you need me to go in with you? We could work this out together. Couples therapy.
I am never going to be invited back here again.
That's a lie.
Just once a month.
Just once a month. That's it.
Yeah, don't wear out that welcome.
No.
You can understand why a pull hitter would get pulled, or a lefty hitter would get pull conscious at Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium.
Oh, no doubt. Look, check out Didi.
Right?
All his home runs are to right field.
Literally every single one of them. His spray chart as far as home runs were concerned last year.
Yes.
Dead pull.
Yeah, it's this year too.
You know he's on a 1-for-45 right now.
That's unbelievable.
After what we saw the first month.
Is it not amazing? I mean, baseball is easily the most humbling sport out there, but it's just amazing to watch a guy go out there and tear it up for an entire month.
Player of the month.
And then turn into a 1-for-45.
That's why we want to kill ourselves half the time in this game. Because I mean, who can explain that?
That's why you guys are going to therapy.
Exactly.
Again.
Thought I was doing good until I came up here. Now I go back to therapy again.
Are you placing blame on me?
No.
Okay. We need to shift that.
Okay.
3-2 to McCann to lead off the second inning. Astros with a leadoff hit from Springer, and now McCann goes down swinging. 3 strikeouts for Corey Kluber.
Let's say, Baggy, you've got your first AB against a guy that's pretty filthy. There's nobody on base. How are you approaching that AB? Because I know it changes once you get guys on base. Then you think about trying to do some damage and helping your team. But if there's nobody on base, are you trying to feel that pitcher out?
No. Well, it depends on the pitcher. If it's Kluber, where everybody knows what Kluber has and stuff like that, I got to look for. I'm not taking anything because that might be the best pitch that I get to hit. I can't afford to do that because his other stuff, his complimentary stuff, are just better than me if they're thrown in the right spot. So if he's going to start me off with a fastball, I got to be ready to hit that. Now, if he hooks me probably first pitch, I'm going to take it. But I'm looking at the fastball the entire time because I'm not planning on walking. So, I mean, there's a pitch right there that's probably right down the middle. And that puts you in a tough spot. Yeah, that puts you in a tough spot. But not like it's going to happen, like I say it every single time. I mean, you're going to go through things where you start thinking, I'm going to get a breaking ball. But I always want to be able to hit the fastball.
Down and away to Gurriel. It's 1-2. Yuli looking for his first hit against Kluber. He's 0 for 6 in his career. A couple hits in last night's game, and Blummer was mentioning on that second hit how well he clears those hands through.
He's special. You know, I was telling a friend of mine last night, I said, nobody on this team hits the ball solidly more than Yuli does.
Ooh, caught the corner on one that Yuli was backing off the plate. Power Player presented by TXU. Marwin Gonzalez has the best numbers by far of anybody in this lineup against Corey Kluber. 7 for 14, a couple of home runs.
Tell you what's good to see. Did we know Marwin's hands are quick enough to get to that inside pitch? He can hit the fastball in. If you leave a cutter over the plate, he's going to be able to get to it. But what I like to see was him actually squaring up that breaking ball.
Yes.
He's had a tough time with the breaking ball down early.
He's a great fastball hitter. when he gets in his zone and he can start hitting breaking balls, then people are in trouble. But he can hit a fastball, no doubt about that. I mean, these guys, these guys got track records. We got, we're still a quarter of the way into the season. Guys are feeling it out. We had tough weather in the beginning of the season. They're going to be all right. And that wasn't a fluke last year.
Tries to catch the edge and misses outside. It's 1-1.
And the league, with the amount of information that is out there, the league is going to adjust off of what they did last year to try and get these guys out.
Marwin's not going to see as many fastballs as he did last year.
Until, like you said, he starts squaring up the breaking ball.
I mean, that's it. It's a cat and mouse game all the time. They adjust, you got to adjust. And the ones that don't, they don't make it very long.
Yeah, I mean, Kluber can manipulate pitches as well as anybody too.
It does. It's going all different directions, and they all come from the same slot, arm slot. That's what makes it so successful. Is every ball that comes out of his hands is from the same slot, so you have no idea right off the get-go whether it's going left or right.
That one is foul. Geyer's playing that ball like it's a fair ball. He thought it was fair as the right fielder, but the first base umpire, Alan Porter, called it foul.
I was watching it on the field. It looked like once it got past first base, it was pretty much right on the line.
He's talking to AC right now.
That's on the line.
That is bouncing a couple of.
What's this?
Did it go back to the
foul,
left?
then it went back.
Yep, it went back.
That's foul.
You would call that foul?
I don't know, but it bounced right there.
That was crazy.
This far out. I've never seen that.
That ball was closer to foul territory when it passed the bag and then landed on the chalk as it went past the bag.
Wow.
When he was jumping up in the air. So he probably didn't see it.
That ball's foul.
Why not get tested again?
No kidding, right?
Baseball gods are mean.
Well, what Geyer probably saw, the outfielder, was that ball hit the chalk. And then he started playing it like it was a double.
Exactly.
I don't see how that ball could do that. It was foul and went that way.
Somebody didn't replace their divot.
Exactly.
Marwin hanging in there. He drew a walk last night to start that 2-run seventh. And it was a 9-pitch walk against Clevenger, who was in a duel up until that point in a 1-1 game. Fouled off some tough 2-strike pitches, as he's doing here against Kluber.
Marwin had some of his best ABs last year, and some of the really good ABs we've seen him this year is when he's fouled off some tough pitches, working into 3-2 counts and forcing pitchers to throw everything.
Yeah. That's the cutter right there. Just trying to get the ball away from his barrel.
Throwing that more to lefties this year, Blummer, than he did last year.
Maybe the velocity's dropping a little bit too. That two-seam run on the inside corner was a great pitch for him when he won those Cy Youngs. Kind of stand that left-handed hitter up and have it sink back over the plate.
A lot of movement on that pitch.
Inside.
That was the one he was trying to move back over that inside corner.
Just didn't come back for him.
It didn't. No.
When he's missed today, he hasn't missed by much. 31 pitches, 21 for strikes. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat for Marwin. And he's run the count full.
It's good at bat. And the honesty, as I say, it's a good at bat. It's only good at bat if it gets on base.
Or
you can say it all you want, but the only thing that matters is get on base.
Putting 10 pitches on a guy.
Yeah, that's true.
That helps.
It does. Guys like Kluber, though, they're not really. I don't think they worry as much about pitches.
Yeah, between Kluber being a workhorse and Terry Francona being scared to death to go to his bullpen.
Yeah,
he's going to leave these guys out there a little bit longer.
This will be an 11-pitch at bat at the least. 6 foul balls in this AB for Marwin. See Brandon Belt coming in town on Tuesday.
Oh, let's not have one of those.
Yeah.
22.
22, that's right. Beat Ricky Gutierrez. I was there for Ricky's.
Were you? Were you?
Oh, yeah. He yelled at me. He called me after the thing. He goes, "Why'd you let me stay out there that long? Just to make an out." It's not my fault, man.
We'll have more on that when we come back. I want to hear this story.
True
Fly
story.
ball to left for the final out of the inning. against the Cleveland Indians. His last 3 before today had been very good. In fact, his last complete game of 9 innings came against the Indians last April 25th. Had an 8-inning complete game earlier this year in Seattle. That last start against the Indians last April 25th, he went 9 innings of 2-run baseball in an Astros 4-2 win.
You know what I love too is that game-ending play by Carlos Correa and the fist pump. That is a teammate understanding what you're going out there and trying to do and help you accomplish it. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with this ball club, that camaraderie and that intensity for each other to win.
I think they knew too that Dallas was near the end of his pitch limit.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things going in there. You got to understand the moments.
Well, that's one of the things about this ball club for the last 2 years. I've never seen a club where guys pull for each other as much as this.
I completely agree.
They're not, you know, everybody has numbers, and numbers are great and stuff, but collectively they've learned that you can get numbers and win as a group. And obviously you win a World Series, it makes it even better. But even starting in spring training last year, you could just see that the atmosphere was different for this club. So that's a great pitch right there. There's a cutter in. There's nothing that he can do with that ball except hit it foul.
And that's basically what pitchers want to do.
Yes.
Greg Maddux was a master of being able to do this.
So what's he going to do with that ball? There's nothing he can do with that ball.
And as a hitter, you're seeing that ball on the inner third, so you're opening up immediately.
Exactly right. You know, and the stuff you see too, all those good pitchers that we talk about, their most vulnerable time in the game is the first inning. Because that's where you're trying to get your feel. And a lot of times you don't come out of the bullpen with perfect feel. It takes a little time, and that's why, you know, and guys like those guys in the Braves, they would give up 3 runs in the first inning. Well, next thing you know, you look up and you're in the 7th inning, and there's still only three runs up there. And that's what Dallas will do.
You could see that today.
Yes, that's the whole thing. You just keep grinding away, making your pitches.
Just missed on the 2-2. Now he gets a ground ball to Bregman on the 3-2 pitch. And Alex makes.
But you can see right now the way his demeanor on the mound and his pitches, the movement, the location is much clearer and much sharper than it was in the first inning. He's getting into the baseball game right now, which all he's got to do is give our offense a chance. That's all you ask for out there.
They've done a good job at that.
They have.
All right, so tell me about the story. It was June 26, 1998 in Cleveland.
Yes.
Ricky Gutierrez facing Bartolo Colon in the 8th inning.
He was throwing 148 miles an hour.
Back when he could.
Yes.
He was a flamethrower back in the day.
He did. It just never stopped.
And why would Ricky yell at you?
Well, he yelled at me because Ricky likes to yell at me. But he called me after Belt did that, and he said he was pissed off at me because I didn't get him out of that at bat. I said, man, what am I supposed to do? Walk up there and take the bat out of your hand? I said, I knew you were going to make it out eventually.
That standard Bagwell
yeah, it is.
Dialogue.
But if you knew Ricky and I's relationship, you're okay with that. But that was incredible. It really was.
He got to a 1-2 count in that at bat, and there were 17 more pitches to go.
And Bart was throwing everything: 2-seamers, sliders, changeups, about 7 balls at over 100. Ricky was battling. But see, that's what's so hard, man, and that's why I was talking about it, that last at bat. You know, oh, this is a good at bat, but then when you make it out, you're like, why am I up here for this long?
Severely disappointing. Yeah.
That's what this game is at hitting. Severely disappointing.
Yes.
Well, it's too hard.
Yet they can build a plaque for you.
Yeah. Well,
if you disappoint less,
at
least.
But at least in basketball, you got the ball in your hand to start. The pitcher's got the ball in the hand, and you got 7 guys out there that can catch the ball. I just don't think it's fair.
Glad you're up here.
Yeah. Oh, God, please. I want no part of this stuff.
Speaking of basketballs, Game 1 of the Western Finals.
Yeah.
You had some action in that. Did you take that first shot?
I might have, yes.
Yeah?
I think there's proof that I did. Hit off the back iron. Okay, I get it.
You got strong?
I got off the back iron. Didn't hit the front iron.
Well, it's kind of like a first pitch. You don't want to bounce it. You don't want to shoot an air ball.
That's what they told me. Don't hit the front rim. But I think
were you nervous?
I think the second baseman missed the rim, backboard, and net.
What?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Just saying.
And by the second baseman.
There's one of the guys over there. It's somewhere next to the 5 over there. That's 7 up there.
Oh,
the 2 numbers up there.
Missed the whole thing.
What do you mean? Come on.
Yeah.
He was further away from the rim than you.
Biz is only good at playing baseball.
He was extremely good.
No
at
other
it.
sport.
He's really good at it.
no other sport?
No, football, he was good. I went to one of his birthday parties. He played his 6 touchdown games for 5 straight hours.
Tony Kemp lays out for that catch as he retires Brandon Geyer for the final out of the inning. Dallas comes back with a 1-2-3 inning with a little defensive work from his center fielder.
You got to remember, this is a second baseman moving around playing the outfield. He is an acrobat. We've seen it in video. Now we get to see it in person.
That's a great catch.
And the top half.
Got a good jump. He's athletic, and you can see he timed it up nicely to be able to lay out, see that ball into the glove.
That was nice.
Yeah, coming in as an outfielder,
It's tough.
has got to be one of the tougher plays.
Yeah. That was a good play.
Tony Kemp getting the start tonight in center field. We saw him in left for a couple of games. And he has started all 3 games since coming up from AAA Fresno. He will bat after Evan Gattis and then the top of the order.
He's a grinder, man. He gets out there. He likes to play baseball. He battles. He does a lot of things out there.
Guys, that's a tough play, but I'll tell you what makes it actually possible, because it's so hard to be coming straight in a line with the ball. If you notice, right at the end, when he dove, he was actually angled a little bit to the side. That allowed him to see the ball into the glove. But if you're coming in a straight line with the baseball, it's almost an impossible play to make that play diving straight in towards the ball. Watch right at the end. Watch how he turns just a little bit right there. That allows him to actually see the ball go in. If you're coming straight in and in a direct line, that's a tough play to make. But he made a good adjustment on the move, that last little micro move, to allow himself to see that ball go in, even though he's diving headfirst coming towards home plate.
Good stuff right there, Preston. That was perfect. He did. If you go straight, too, you could hit your knees and your face goes straight to the ground.
It hurts, man. I'm telling you, it's a tough deal, and he made that play a lot easier than it could have been by just that little micro movement at the end there.
2-2 the count to Evan Gattis. Gattis has hit the ball better lately.
Yes, he has.
3 home runs, 7 RBIs his last 6 games. It was a tough start for him in the month of April.
Yeah, it's tough when you get out there and you struggle right off the get-go.
What do you do with that?
He took it.
It's a tough pitch. Starting at your knees.
It is. That's his slider. I mean, it's tough.
It's time to get out and play, and it's presented to you by Toyota. Tony Kemp's ground rule double down that right field line.
There I was.
That poor guy took a lot of heat, a lot of explanations around social media. But the initial reaction was pretty jarring.
There I am.
But then Baggy's pass list had to get escorted out of here.
Sorry, bro.
My favorite part is that his wife didn't go with him.
Exactly.
She said, I'm going to stay here and see the rest of you. You're the one who stuck your glove out there.
The cool part is Valerie, we find out later, would tweet about this moment, saying they had their 5-year-old at the game, first game ever for their 5-year-old daughter. And husband was tending to the daughter, and then he just reached out for it, and she was not real thrilled with it at the time.
That was awesome.
I'm telling you, that episode, besides the Tony Kemp hit, that episode made my whole night. Because that was just life in just this little microcosm. That's what that was.
It affected everybody.
It affected everybody.
The dude in the back in the blue shirt looks like it was like a family argument that you don't want to watch your family argue, but you can't not watch it. Your mouth is just hanging open. Like, I can't believe she said that to Uncle Kevin.
Oh, too good. Tony, by the way, to his credit, said next time you guys are out at the stadium, I'd like to autograph something for you. So he was having fun with it on social media as well as he grounds out for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Tony gets it, but I also like the way he's put together some ABs here early on. Also, he's a tough out.
He is. You know, he doesn't try and do too much. Does what he can. And, you know, it's sometimes, especially when you're facing good pitching like this too, you can't try and get bigger than the moment. You know, you got to just do what you can do and kind of move the line and let the next guy behind you drive you in.
Well, it seems like a big hill when you're facing Kluber down 3. If you can just get one of those back in one of these early innings, then it feels like it's a little more plausible that you can come back.
And that's why we have Dallas. You know, Dallas will keep us in the game like that. You know, it gives us inning by inning. We can try and get back into this baseball game. It's only 3 runs.
George holds up. He goes around. It's 1-1. George with the only hit of the game for the Astros. A leadoff single to right. Kluber has retired 8 in a row since then. 5 strikeouts of those 8 batters. Up and into George. 2-1.
You know, Baggy was talking about the first time through the lineup. These guys are trying to get their legs under them. I mean, Corey Kluber's a guy, first time through the lineup, hitters are hitting 177 against him. If you're going to get him, you want to get him that second time through because the average jumps to a massive 234.
That's a lot.
In comparison to 177 it is, and here we go, the second time through the order.
Yeah, well, the more you see somebody, you know, the more you get a feel for something. You know, we talk about that a lot of times with guys breaking balls. You know, they got great breaking balls, so they throw it 50% of the time. Well, the more you throw it to me, the more I see it, the more I'm going to get an idea of how I want to attack it. Okay, I mean, he's got a great breaking ball. If he throws it at me, it's a strike. If he throws it down the middle, it's a ball. So the more I see one pitch or a couple pitches and you get into an at-bat like that, you know, that's going to help you down the line.
And even though he's pitched against the Astros, now making his 8th start against Houston, they have not seen him since April of last year.
Yeah, and to me, and you guys know better than I do, it seems like his breaking ball is a little bit different now than it was before. It's more of a slider than a slurve. I think he's thrown a couple that were bigger.
And not what Baggy's trying to say is not as much north to south as there is as it moves more east to west. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's always tough for me, and you guys probably pick it up easier, but discerning sometimes the cutter from the slider.
Well, it's tough up here. A lot of times I have to look at the velocity to figure out which one it is, because the cutter will be thrown harder than the slider. But some of these guys, like we see Justin Verlander, there's confusion between a cutter and his slider when it's always the slider. I don't think he really has a traditional cut.
I think Justin, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think he messes with his grip every once in a while. He might even do it in game.
He might.
I mean, I've seen him split before in a game, and he don't even throw a split. Why not? He's get too bored out there because he's too good. Well, you're right. There's, you know, you see his sinker, and then you see that's a little bit bigger. That's 84.
Bregman into center field. Davis going back, and he makes the play in front of the track. Bregman hitting one to center for the final out of the 3rd. It's 3-0 Indians.
Gassy plus Gary Pettis takes us inside his son's NFL draft experience. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Friday after the game and re-airing all week long only on AT&T Sportsnet.
After a 3-run first inning for the Indians, Dallas Keuchel has faced the minimum the next 2 innings. He did allow a single to Francisco Lindor against the shift, but he wiped that runner out on a double play ground ball. Facing Yan Gomes, Jason Kipnis, and Eric Gonzalez to start the fourth, and Gomes takes a called strike. Gomes popped up his first time up. He is 5 for 13 in his career against Dallas Keuchel and has hit lefties this year at a .325 clip. But he's down to the count here, 0-2. Keuchel undefeated in his career against the Indians in 5 starts. But he's on the wrong side of a 3-0 game right now. Gomes stays alive. It'll be Gomes, Jason Kipnis, who doubled in that 3rd run in the first inning. We have 3 players on our broadcast today. Special broadcast day for us as Preston Wilson is filling in the role of Julia Morales as our in-game reporter and dugout analyst. Jeff Blum, of course, here every game or almost every game. And then Jeff Bagwell once a month. So we got 3 different hitters to choose from in terms of analysis as Dallas Keuchel picks up a strikeout. Dallas is doing what you said he would and
keeping us right there.
Lock it in after that first.
Exactly right. Just got to get back on offense. So he's getting a good feel. He's, you know, in that first inning, you saw him miss a lot of balls on the plate. You know, say an inch or two on each side of the plate, and that's where he got beat up. Right now, he's not doing that. He's getting into a rhythm out there. He looks good.
Jason Kipnis takes one down and away. It's 1-0.
Yeah, Dallas wanted that one. It was a good pitch.
Low strike has been called for the most part by Titchener tonight. Two and 0 the count.
See, but those misses like that, he can't get hurt on those pitches. There's nothing you can do with that. So as long as he misses like that down and out of the strike zone, he'll be all right.
I've asked Blummer this before, but when you had a pitcher as a first baseman that you knew was going to induce a lot of ground ball outs, I mean, you look forward to those days, right?
Oh yeah, I think everybody does because it goes fast. You know, guys that strike out a lot of guys, you know, generally you see, you know, a lot of pitches and balls not put in play. Guys like Dallas keeps your infielders moving all the time, which is great.
I agree. Staying engaged behind these guys is awfully nice. What's great about this rotation too is that those walk numbers, even with the strikeouts, the walk numbers aren't extreme. They're not trying to pitch off the edges to create chase. They keep pounding the zone trying to get those strikeouts.
Yeah, and especially with our guys, with our stuff that they have, I mean, there's no reason to be outside of the zone. You know, they stay in it. They stay with quality stuff. I mean, they're going to get outs. I mean, we made this huge deal about Justin throwing, what he threw, 120 pitches the other night? Something like that?
He threw 118.
118?
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing for him. You know, I know in today's game has changed, but before, you know, say 5 years ago when he was with Detroit, I guarantee he threw 120 a bunch. He doesn't mind that. He'd want to come out of that game.
And as it turns out, you'll get 2 extra days off with the day off on Monday and the day off before this series on Thursday.
Well, what's interesting about that and talking about the pitches that he's thrown, there were a couple of previous starts where he didn't get over 100. And AJ knows these things. He's got these things mapped out on his computer to give these guys the ability to bounce back from an outing if they have to go out and throw 120 pitches. But you're right in the sense that Verlander's one of the freaks. He's one of the old school guys that out there and goes out and wants the baseball for 8 innings and 100+ pitches.
On the ground to Altuve.
So that's vintage Dallas right there. Get a sinker away, just a rollover for the last 120 years to second baseman.
Today's fan cam presented by GulloAuto.com. Good view from the outfield here at Minute Maid Park. Roof is closed, as it will be probably most of this homestand, if not the entire homestand.
You know, I would bet too. You know, you see when you see no hitters all the time, there's always some great plays in a no hitter, because the heightened sense of, you know, I want to make sure that we can do this, and so that the infielders and the outfielders are so into the game. And I think guys like Dallas, you have to be into the game. You will see good plays made behind them because guys aren't standing around.
That's a good point. I think when you have a pitcher like Dallas, you are going to see spectacular plays, and we have seen it today. Speaking of paying attention and being a great teammate, we saw Verlander in the dugout. I would say, and Blummer can talk to this too, I would say since Verlander's come here, the other starters are a little more focused on each other guy's start, because Verlander's like that.
Oh, why wouldn't you? I mean, look at the success he's had in his career. He goes out there, he prepares. I hear it from everybody how much he prepares, and you know, for each and every start. So if I'm watching this guy that's doing what he's doing, I want to be the same guy. Especially some of these other guys like, you know, Cole and Charlie and all that, who have, you know, similar velocities and styles of how to pitch. I mean, that's a perfect guy to emulate as far as I'm concerned.
Last game we had you on our broadcast a month ago, we were raving about the staff, and it's even better now than it was a month ago.
Crazy.
It is unbelievable, the numbers they're putting up as a collective group of 5.
And there's another ball right there. That ball is cutting in on his hands. There is nowhere for that hitter to hit that ball except over that way.
Do you like that better as a 1-strike pitch because it adds to your strike totals, because it's not really a strikeout pitch with 2 strikes, or you don't mind it even with 2 strikes?
Well, even with 2 strikes, I can set up this next pitch right here.
Okay.
Which would be sinker away.
Didn't fish for it.
Right. But that's the idea. You get him to do that, then you go back over there. So the right-handed batter has got to really, really concentrate on keeping his shoulder square and trying to hit the ball the other way. And when he just hit a ball, you know, 500 feet that way, so he kind of wants to do that again, but Dallas doesn't give it to him. There.
Pulled back on that one.
Well, I think it's great too. I mean, not so much this day and age, but because nobody has a 2-strike approach, I feel, anymore. But early in counts, guys were looking to do damage, drive the baseballs, so they kind of throw that ball in off the plate just a little bit, and then you get this massive swing and drive one a mile-and-a-half out, just a strike.
Because as a pitcher, there's nothing you can do with that pitch as a hitter. I mean, maybe Altuve can do something with it.
There you go. Little ground ball to end the inning.
Exactly right.
Vintage Dallas Keuchel that inning, a couple of ground outs to second and a strikeout. We are through 3.5 in a 3-0 game.
Special Kroger family 4-packs are available starting at only $70. For more information on tomorrow's family 4-pack, visit astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Bottom half of the 4th inning, Astros down 3-0 to the Indians and Corey Kluber. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Brian McCann duo.
Astros only have 2 base runners all game. It's been a couple of hits by George Springer, and that's it. Altuve struck out looking his first time up, and he wasn't real pleased with the low zone in that at bat. Altuve down to the count 0-2.
Would you say he's throwing a slider and a slurve?
Well, that's
and
what I
a
was
cutter.
I was just checking out the scouting report on him, and it says fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup. Really doesn't have that slider in that mix. The cutter comes in there averaging around 88 miles an hour.
That last pitch was.
But I think the reason you're asking, because that one at 84 had a little more depth to it.
That's the slurvy type.
Yeah,
thing.
the downward tilt to it.
People don't use that word very often anymore. Slurve.
Yep. Our best in Texas power pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Kluber and Lance McCullers. These are guys that go out there and get it done with the breaking ball. Not so much lately for Lance McCullers. He's had to go to that changeup a little more frequently, still looking for the feel of that pitch. But Kluber has made a career out of having a great curveball to go with that fastball, cut fastball that he has. And I really feel that in the past, that's what's led to a lot of strikeouts for Corey Kluber, is the ability to throw that breaking ball for the strikeout.
Oh, no doubt. Because, as we talked about, it comes straight out just like his fastball. And all of a sudden, it's halfway there and decides to go straight a little bit, south, quick.
Do you remember at what point the cutter became so prevalent? It wasn't
right
the beginning of your career, right?
No, it was right before I got out
of your career.
Where I was forced out of the game.
Stop it. I love how Blummer drops his head when you say that.
I was terrible.
You were terrible.
No, that pitch is...
You were the worst first baseman I've ever seen.
I know. You have to deal with a slider, and then you're like, okay, I'm not getting a slider here. Just when you think you're going to get a fastball that's a cutter.
Do you remember, it's the grip on the pitch, and it's thrown like a fastball. Do you remember the first time you saw it? Did you go, is that a slider?
I
or
probably
something?
swung and missed it.
But at some point you have to realize there's a new pitch coming.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, in your head, you see the rotation of the pitch, and you anticipate the break of the slider. Then the cutter comes out, and it doesn't break like a traditional slider, and it ends up blowing you up.
Exactly.
Or getting off the end of the bat.
Yeah, it would blow you up, and it's off the end of the bat.
Off the end of the bat, and that's where the concern sets in, because now you're going, okay, I see similar spin, similar action, but it's not going to this where I'm anticipating it being. That's tough.
And then there was dudes like Will Harris that were throwing dry cutters where the ball's just like a fastball and moves 4 inches.
Yep.
And like, where is that from?
And here's the fastball delivery from Corey Kluber. So you're going to see, I'm not sure if it's going to line up, but that's the release point. That's where the hitter's eyes are focused on. That is the curveball.
It's the same pitch.
And that is a separate, guys in the truck were actually able to overlap them to give us a look at what's going on.
That's what you see as a hitter.
And the thing is with the fastball, you're anticipating this. The same pitch is going to come out of here and then gradually break down and away.
And then, so how much time do you have to make that decision? Less than a second.
Less than a half second.
It's just coming straight out, and you have no idea.
And that's where the deception comes in.
Makes it so tough.
Yep, that was a good job by the guys in the truck and a good explanation.
So do you feel that the overhand curve might be easier for you?
For me, it's easier because the ball pops
Watch the
up.
release. That's what you're looking at.
That's what I'm saying. And you have no time to think like that.
Zero.
Not to mention it's great.
It's A+ stuff.
Because the sinker is going into me, the other pitch is going away from me.
And for Blummer, it's the opposite as a left-hand hitter.
Yep.
But he will also throw that to his inside part for the fastball to come back in.
over the plate.
Well, and that's the hardest thing is if I'm trying to get to the cutter on the inside as a left-handed hitter, I've got to open up that front side. And then if I do give up on it and he throws the two-seamer, it comes back out over the plate for a strike, and I've got, that's a whole nother mess to deal with.
The most successful pitchers, to me, it's important is when pitchers throw, every pitch that they throw, you have to make some sort of a flinch that I might have to swing at that. The guys that throw 2 breaking balls on an 0-2 pitch that are in the other batter's box where I don't even have to think about it, I mean, what does that do? But if you're throwing something that I have to flinch and go, oh, that might be a strike, those are the ones that are very successful. Greg Maddux was outstanding at that. Kluber's outstanding at that. Dallas is outstanding at that. Every pitch comes out looking the same, and all of them go in a different direction. And that's tough to do when you're at this, less than half a second to make a decision like that. So, you either guess right or get lucky.
Well, it's a good inning to break down Kluber and his effectiveness. He's already struck out Altuve swinging. You got Correa looking, and he's been ahead of McCann this whole at bat. That one's down and in. It's 1-2. McCann battling at 0-2, and these guys know it's not an easy day against Kluber, especially when you get down on the count.
It's not. It's tough when you're. I mean, there's no pitch with guys like this. There's no, or Dallas too. There's no pitch that you can take off.
Just missed the inside corner. It's 2-2.
Ooh. So now as the hitter, B-Mac's going, okay, he just threw a fastball inside right there. What do I got? What am I thinking right now? You try and clear it and just say, well, hit off the fastball and see what happens. But, you know, he can make it go all kinds of different ways. Oh.
Ooh. Ouch. Did he hit his back foot?
May have.
That was really bearing in on him.
I've hit my back knee before.
Yes, I have done the same.
That's when I know I'm really going bad.
Oh,
I'm really falling off.
That was a front foot.
Front one.
But then he went down. You hit your back knee?
Yeah.
I did it on a Mark Burley cutter.
Yeah. Just pulled off it and hit right off the
Yeah.
See, guys, if you swung and missed more like I did, you wouldn't have to worry about hitting your back knee. I never hit my back knee. I just would swing right over it, see?
So saved your body.
Yeah, and I still ended up having knee surgery, so I guess
it's true.
Well, look who won there, not me.
That was terrible at the back knee.
Well, McCann has seen some nasty pitches this
tough
at bat.
right
That's
there.
just, I mean, you guys broke it down that inning, and then Kluber paid it off because that was a nasty sequence. We are through 4, 3-0. Defensively, part of making great plays around the diamond is having a good first baseman. Marwin and Yuli have made some plays this year.
Both guys that are not traditional first basemen also. And one of the biggest things, and I know we talked about it in spring training, Baggy, is getting over to that bag and being able to be in a position to make that great pick to pick up your defender.
To be in an athletic position. So there's certain ways the ball bounces. So you can that was a little bit not that great, but sorry. But that you got to be sitting there and you got to know where the ball is. You want to, if it's going to bounce, you want to get the highest bounce you can get. You can actually not have to stride out. If you feel the runner coming down, you can actually just sit there, almost in a crouch, and just wait for it to bounce up.
You seen Yuli make strides as a first baseman?
He has. He's done a great job. I know when he first got over there yesterday, he was not. Last year, he was not very comfortable over there. And I thought a lot of things. Yuli was using a big glove too, and he's used to using an infielder's glove. So I was kind of hoping he would get a smaller glove that might feel better on his hand.
That's a big glove.
It is. So I saw one in spring training, and he didn't like it. And I said, "Yeah, you don't like it because it's hard right now."
It's not broken.
So he's just going to go back to Old Faithful, which is fine. And most guys do that. I'm sure Blummy had a favorite glove that he had.
Oh yeah.
That's like taking your kid away if you lose.
Absolutely.
Your glove. It's awful.
For you, what's the drawback or the detriment to having a glove that's a little bigger like Yuli does? Why did you want
I just don't feel like you get enough feel in your hands. That's why you see a lot of the infielders, their gloves are shorter because you have more feel. You watch Carlos get ground balls at short. He uses one hand all the time. Very hard to do that with a big glove. I just felt that my hands would be more involved with a smaller glove.
Rajai Davis leading off the inning, and he takes a pitch off the plate for ball 4. Dallas walks his second batter of the game, and his first since the first inning. And Davis will have to be watched at first. He has stolen 8 bags this year. 3-0 game. Keuchel since the first inning had faced the minimum in the last 3 innings. Now leadoff walk in the 5th. Here's Francisco Lindor. Seen a couple of pretty special young shortstops in this series.
Sure are. Like real good, like generational type players.
These guys may be vying for all-star starters for the next 5 to 10 years if they're in the same league.
I mean, obviously, I'm a little partial to ours. Carlos can do some great things out there.
Well, I think everybody's seen Francisco Lindor as the more athletic. He's not the same stature.
Yeah, he's not as big. Right.
But that's where I think Carlos Correa over this offseason and really in spring training has done a great job.
He worked his
working on that first step to be better defensively.
Off the plate, Dallas off the mound in a hurry. McCann makes the play instead, and Brian throws out the speedy Lindor on the plate. Davis goes to second. Dallas almost got out there to the point where he could have made the play, but McCann was a little closer to it.
Tweener right there.
Especially with Dallas able to bounce off the mound. He's always in such a good position, much like Mike Hampton.
Yes.
And it being able to have a good first step and even be considered to make that play.
Hampton can make the best plays in the entire world, but could have no clue how to throw the ball to first base.
Come on.
It was unbelievable. It
Really?
was so bad.
On pickoffs too?
No, pickoffs were fine. A ball hit back to him or something like that. I mean, I was in full panic mode.
Turn into a hockey goalie?
Exactly. I'm like, okay, where's this one? And he just laughs afterwards. He just catch the ball.
That sounds like Hampy.
Yeah.
So something coming down the slope helped him. On flat ground, couldn't throw.
He couldn't. It wasn't quite like John Lester and all that, but he just had a tough time with I guess his release point. But I mean, he got to everything from that line to that line.
I want to know to Michael Brantley. That's pretty funny because he did a lot of things well in the game. Hit well.
Yeah.
He had 300 one year.
But not throwing the ball to first on a comeback or a ground ball.
I think you guys had this thing.
Tasks.
Yeah, right. I mean, really, you throw it right over the middle of a plate, from 60. You can't throw it to me. How hard is it? It's like when Beige in spring training wanted me to take ground. He was going to throw me ground balls from second. I told him, no, I'm not doing that. You can't throw it from there to me. You have to practice that. Come on, man.
Wait, what was that?
Yeah, it's spring training. He said, can you take some throws? I'm not taking throws. You're 20 feet away from me. You can't throw it to me? I'm not doing that, wasting my time with that.
Oh, it continues.
It's never going to stop with me and Craig. I'm up here. He can't tell me.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's got no rebuttal platform.
I was going to say, how long before some of these guys start to realize when you are on and they start to watch and your phone starts blowing up?
That's fine.
And then
they know where to find me.
Pitch is going to request to be on the next Saturday.
Yeah, he's like, he wants a turn.
3-1 the count.
This is killing me, man. I know these fans are down here looking at me going, what is he just bent over laughing about? And every now and then I give a loud cackle, but man, I know this because I felt that in real life, just like I feel everything you're saying up there, Baggy.
Well, I don't lie. True story, actually. Really, not embellishing.
Oh, I would think not. I mean, he literally wants a little work and beef in spring training.
If he can't throw it to me from that far, he shouldn't be playing second base. So I said, no.
Is that what he was working on, though? What was he actually trying to work on?
I have no idea. Well, he's panicking. He's learning how to play second.
Oh, so this is early on when he moved out from behind home plate?
Yeah, well, I only told him once, and he never asked me again. Because I didn't say it as nice as I said it.
I was going to say, were you as polite?
No.
Poor guy's learning a new position.
No, he learned enough by then. He'd already hit his way into the Gold Glove.
There's a ground ball towards Yuli, who makes the play to Keuchel for the second out.
Did you just say that? You going to break down Yuli on this play?
Big glove works out
here.
Got it.
Yeah.
He got it.
Stood back, got the big hop. over the top, right in the chest. Gold Glove pitcher. Wow.
Dallas couldn't hit himself into a Gold Glove. He had to actually field.
Right.
Yeah. Were you a guy that would
I'll say something back. I mean, I did hit 360 something one year, and the only Gold Glove I won when I won the MVP. So okay, I'll take that on me too. Sometimes I guess the best fielders don't get the Gold Glove. Now, Bish was great. He was a good fielder. He had tons of range. I just like to make fun of him just because I can.
And you're very good at it.
Because I can beat him up. Because I'm bigger than him.
Dallas won 3 straight Gold Gloves.
He did. He deserves it, though.
And your buddy Bish won 4 in a row.
He did.
94 through. There's the gold.
That's yeah.
He should have won last year. He just didn't have enough innings pitched. They don't even list the guy on the ballot now when he doesn't pitch 162 innings. You look at some of the metrics defensively, Dallas is as good as anybody.
Dallas is great out there. You know what? That's a big deal too, man. Well, I mean, Maddox won a ton too, didn't he?
Oh.
So you got to deal with him, then you got to deal with Andrew Jones. That was fun.
Big strike zones.
Oh.
Sorry to bring that back again.
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah. All right, here's the shot you were talking about
earlier. Did he get anything? Oh, he did hit the rim. Oh, don't look at this one. Oh, it's terrible. Mine was worse. I apologize to Craig. And I had no idea where I was going right there, too. Everybody left me. They did. I was like, what am I doing?
Like, way to go.
Yeah.
2-1 to Ramirez. Bounce foul.
I take that back. I was told that he didn't hit anything.
So that's there we go. You guys front rimmed it.
Yeah.
You hit off the back rim. That's a lot of pressure first shot.
It was. Well, not really. I'm actually irritated that I missed.
You practice?
No.
Okay.
Just a couple. Yeah, I did. Doesn't matter.
Big game tomorrow night.
Huge game tomorrow night.
So as much as you love watching the Astros, you check out the Rockets when you can too. Huh?
Yeah, I do. The thing about basketball, though, there's really not a game until like 8 minutes left in the game.
So you watch up until...
It's entertaining, though.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. Going to a game is entertaining. There's a lot going on.
Ramirez has doubled and grounded out and chops one towards Bregman. Tough play for Alex. Bare hand throw, and it's wide. Run will score. Was going to score regardless of the error or not. There'll be a base hit and an error allowing Ramirez to go to second. Alex did everything he could.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
That's the old weak contact getting Dallas.
Well, that's exactly right. He's had some bad luck in those situations where he makes a phenomenal pitch in a 3-2 count, gets the ground ball he wants, but it's just not hit hard enough. I actually thought that was an unbelievable pickup on the bare hand on the short hop.
He's great at that.
He is phenomenal, but he does a good job in setting up his feet, enabling himself to try and make that play. And when you're not scoring a lot of runs and runs seem to be paramount, you have a tendency to overextend a little bit and try too much.
Yes, of course.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion.
Well, that we're down, 3-0 at the time, so you're going to try and make that play, like you said. I mean, with him running, that's a tough one.
Dallas coming in third in soft contact percentage amongst MLB pitchers.
Is it really?
But that hasn't always worked into outs, as we just saw there.
Exactly. That's the thing. You don't know. You can hit it like that and get a knock, and you can hit a line drive at what do you like to say, velo?
Yeah, exit velo.
Like at 110 and be right at somebody.
Yep.
So just the way it works.
Dallas with a pretty high pitch count here. That one gets away from McCann and trying to advance is Ramirez, and he'll get the third on the wild pitch. Nothing Indians lead on the infield RBI single by Jose Ramirez.
The good thing though about our ball club is remembering last year. I know it's last year, and everybody likes to talk about last year, but then you also like to say it's a different year. But we scored so many runs in 7th, 8th, and 9th inning last year that these guys all played on that team, so they know they're not done. Even down 4-0 right now.
Well, that's the thing, and you would like to see them chip away against Kluber, but at some point Kluber will probably have to come out of this game.
Right.
And the Indians bullpen,
Just keep grinding.
The Indians bullpen has struggled this year.
Unless they turn the lights off, you just keep walking up to home plate. See what happens.
2-2 pitch just missed the edge inside. Dallas would have liked that to have been a strike.
Yeah, it's a good pitch.
Instead it's 3-2. Up to 97 pitches. You saw Joe Smith warming up in the Astros bullpen. Chop foul at the plate. 3 runs in the first inning for the Indians, and Dallas retired, or got through the next 3 innings facing 9 batters, 1 hit in the mix and a double play. And this inning, a leadoff walk has come around to score on a little soft single by Jose Ramirez. This one chopped towards third. Dallas is going to make a play. Bare hand and the scoop by Yuli.
Wow.
How about that play by Dallas? Thought that ball might have been going foul, and he plays it and gets an out.
It's incredible he even has the ability to get over there. Bare hand, throw back across his body, and the pick by Yuli. Helping your own cause right here.
That's barehanded. Wow.
Buy rooms to go. Get 60 months interest-free financing during the Memorial Day sale. And buy McDonald's. I'm loving it. Bottom half of the 5th inning, Astros now down 4-0 to Corey Kluber. Kluber started the inning with 65 pitches on his ledger. It'll be Yuli, followed by Marwin Gonzalez and Evan Gattis. Astros have not been able to do much against Kluber. In fact, George Springer, the only one to reach base, a couple of hits. And the rest of the team is 0 for 12 against Kluber today. But Yuli with a hitter's count here at 2-0.
See if this is the cutter.
There you go. They're calling it on StatCast everything a cutter today. So even though it has the motion of a slider, I guess it's all going down as a cutter.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger break than that standard cutter that we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, I guess it's probably more like a slider.
There it is. That's ball 4, isn't it?
Yuli wants to hit. Nope, there was 3-1 count there.
I had the wrong count. So it's 3-1. First pitch was a strike. The next 3 missed.
First pitch was the curveball.
Two hops for Lindor. And he gets Gurriel for the first out of the 5th. 5 in a row sent down and 13 out of 14 hitters for Kluber. bring up Marwin. We told you about Marwin's success his first time up against Corey Kluber. Seven for 15 now as he flied out to left his first time up, a couple of home runs. Kluber with 8 strikeouts today. He has moved past CC Sabathia for 5th all-time in Indians history this afternoon. He's now 7 behind both Bob Lemon and Early Wynn, tied for 3rd in Indians history. He is, as Blummer mentioned, 2-time Cy Young Award winner and 3 times in the top 3 the last 4 years. The year Verlander finished 2nd, he finished 3rd. What did you like about that?
He didn't try and do too much. He just stayed in his legs and just shot his hands over there to the left field side. It was beautiful. Because Marvin can get a little pull happy. That's perfect.
Let that ball
stays
travel.
back. Yeah, perfect. Head stayed right there. Wish it was that easy all the time.
Looks so much more pure when a left-hander goes the other way.
It's really irritating. Everything that you guys do, slicing the ball down the left field line. We do it, we shank it down the right field line. You slice it, we shank it.
Yep.
Oh, that gets away and hits Gaddis.
That's all right. He's all right. We'll take that.
First Astro into scoring position as Marwin will go to 2nd after the base hit and a hit batter.
That squared him up good, too. Right in his butt.
Right in his wallet.
Bam. Oh, no. Yeah,
A little up on that
wallet.
hip.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes when you see Gaddis get hit by a pitch, you have a little more feeling for the baseball. Yeah. But here, a couple of things back-to-back happening good for the Astros, creating traffic out there, and a pesky guy in Tony Kemp who got a big hit last night.
Kemp's put together some good at-bats since being called up from AAA Fresno. He is 3 for 7 with that RBI double that we showed you last at bat. That could have been a 2 RBI triple. Takes a pitch outside, ball 1.
Probably not going to run into a double play either.
Yep.
Astros down 4-0, looking to scratch back against Corey Kluber. Go back to August 1st, 2017, when the streak started. 21 starts, not allowing more than 3 earnings in any of those starts. Behind in the count, 2-0.
Command all of a sudden becoming an issue for Kluber.
His arm angle dropped on that one.
Start missing to that arm side when that arm drags behind the body.
That last half inning was a 12.5-minute inning for Keuchel on the mound. It's the longest since the first. Corey had a little time in between. And 3-0. 3-0 with 2 runners on and 1 out. And he was behind Yuli Gurriel, who made the only out. Yuli grounded out on a 3-1 pitch.
Exactly.
If this game's a little bit tighter, are you more aggressive in a 3-0 count, or because there's a 4-run lead, you're going to take a pitch right here and force him to go to 3-1?
I'm never taking a pitch right here.
Even as a 9-hitter going into the top of the order?
I said I'm.
You would never hit 9, I get it.
Because, well, Tony will, if he takes this, he'll probably get the same pitch again. He'll get another fastball.
But here, he should probably take a pitch.
Yeah, he will.
And he catches the edge. He barely got that strike. But even if that was a 3-0 green light, he's probably not going to swing it.
No, you don't want to swing at that. Even if it was me, I wouldn't swing. Hopefully, I wouldn't. I certainly hope I wouldn't swing at that.
You would.
Who knows?
That was just a piece of the corner. Todd Tichenor called it a strike. Now he tries to check his swing, and he does not. He goes around, and Tony Kemp was already down halfway to first base, but the crew chief Bill Miller calls it a swing. That's a big call.
But the pitch before is why Tony Kemp is checking his swing right here.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get that, if he doesn't have that borderline pitch called a strike, he's not even offering.
He's not. So he's thinking that is a strike somewhere out there.
Yep.
The only thing is, it's still only 3-1. actually see if it happens again if he calls it, and then you have to really, you know, take a swing at it from there. But he's going to, I imagine, try again.
Towards second, Kipnis flips to Lindor, and they turn 2 on Kemp to get out of the jam. Ground ball right to the second baseman, and the Astros have failed to score through 5 against Kluber.
And he continues to produce out in the outfield. Does a very good job of attacking the baseball in those do-or-die type plays. Puts himself in great position to come over the top and unleash the fury out of that right arm. He's done a great job this season. 6 outfield assists, tied for first in Major League Baseball. We got an outfielder down on the sideline, Preston Wilson. Wonder if he has any thoughts on why Josh is so good at throwing guys out.
Oh, Josh does a tremendous job of setting up his throws. A lot of throws, the throw is made before you actually make contact with the ball. And what you see with Josh Reddick is he does a good job of setting his angle. He's not lazy with his feet. He's not lazy with his legs to make sure that he's in position to make a throw before you field it. Watch what he does as far as setting up an angle. Josh Reddick, this can go so easily overlooked. Watch him get around the ball, make sure he get his glove side to the ball, work around it. See that? Glove out in front. Now all he's got to do is replace his feet, get that quick shuffle, get the arm out, get that arm pointed right at third base. And this play was awesome. It's right on the money. It's all because he did such a great job of working his legs, working his feet.
Stuff.
Unfortunately, Reddick hasn't played in this series yet, and they hopefully will have him available tomorrow because he's such a big weapon, not only in the lineup, but especially with what he can do with the glove, as Preston breaking down the footwork he has in the outfield. Joe Smith, the new pitcher, facing the right hand hitting Brandon Guyer, and Guyer down on the count 0-2.
Joe Smith with that 3/4 delivery. Good arm side run on that fastball. Gets in on the hands of right-handed hitters. Once he establishes that inside, he'll go to that slider, try and create the chase off the outside corner.
It's a pop-up on that breaking ball. Altuve calling off Kemp, and finally Kemp calls off Altuve at the last second. Altuve wanted that ball in shallow center field. He likes to take all those pop-ups, no matter where they end up.
Yeah, he is definitely the Kelly Leak of this team.
He's playing in the dome, of course. He gets in the dome. Put a candlestick.
Oh, man, don't even bring that up. Oh, I had a nightmare of a pop fly. That's, yeah, pop up and candlestick.
That's
everybody runs.
That's
You
what
got
I said.
it.
Especially if you're playing a corner infield position, too.
Just point up. Point up.
No, you point to the guy next to you.
You got to run from here to the scoreboard because the dugout's that far away from home plate.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a nasty
Guys,
slider.
I just want you to say you're playing the soundtrack to my life today because you brought up Atlanta, which was a nightmare to me because I played in NL East and had to play them 19 times. And one of the worst feelings I ever had was in Candlestick Park. Al Leiter's up there throwing pretty much like a one-hitter. Ooh.
Ball's crushed to left field, and that's going to be gone. Jan Gomes, who caught Joe Smith frequently when they were teammates in Cleveland, takes him out to left field, and that makes it a 5-0 game.
I would gladly let one of the other guys take this call if they want it. No takers.
That call.
Well, you know what? We're gonna stay on the good side of things.
I like
my
it.
embarrassment.
Go
So
ahead.
Al Leiter's throwing a one-hitter, and I'm in left field. I just get called up to the big leagues, and I'm out there in left field, and I'm scared to death because the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. There's trash blowing all over the field. And they hit a ball to me, and I swear I take off towards the left center gap. The ball ends up down the third base line. it was the most, and I'm looking at Al, and Al was so animated. He's on the mound with his hat and his glove, and I'm just like, oh my God, they're going to send me down right now.
I paid to see that. I wish I hit it. you were going the other way from the ball. That would have been beautiful.
The wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour,
that's
like whipping
crazy.
across. And when it was hit, it was going towards the left center gap. And it just got up there and hung up and just took a right turn.
No, that place was insane. You could not predict where that ball was going to come down in that ballpark.
It's unbelievable that when you think back, that was not that many years ago.
Wow.
That was just how the wind would just howl there.
Yeah,
was crazy.
and it ruined a great day for me. That was the day I met Willie Mays, and then I had that happen.
Man.
So that was your big league moment, or a couple times,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Oh, dude, I was never in awe of anyone. I met Willie Mays. He came in the locker room, and he actually came in to meet me. I guess my dad knew him, and I didn't know it. And I actually lost my voice. I couldn't say. I was like, ah! Yeah, it was.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
The ball's hit hard and foul.
And Willie can talk too, so.
Oh man, what a great man. I mean, and I looked at him, and it's just like I'm looking at baseball greatness right there. You know, and he just came in. He actually bought me a gift. It was one of the greatest things. He signed the ball for me, and I have a bracelet in my safe that it was like a baseball charm bracelet. He bought and gave it to me. One of the greatest days of my life.
It's beautiful.
A lot of people that watch baseball during that era that still say he was the all-time best player.
A lot of people say that for sure.
Could do
He
everything.
did everything. Yeah.
I mean, and look at the ballparks he played in. He plays in massive ballparks. Still hit with 660 home runs.
Yep.
You know, he said if he'd have known the stolen base would have been so popular, he would have stole 600 bases too. But he could have. Like he wasn't one of those guys who just stole empty bases.
Inside ball 4. So after the home run, Smith misses the Kipnis. It's probably a little strange for Joe Smith in this outing, as he played all those years with the Cleveland Indians, caught up with some of them on the off day here on Thursday. He was with the Indians from 2009 through 2013, and then again last season. 5-0 game, top half of the 6th inning. And Yonder Alonso will bat for Eric Gonzalez.
I feel like we're getting in a standstill here. We got to do something.
Well, that last inning was huge, wasn't it? That last half inning, 3-0 count, 2 runners on and 1 out, and a borderline strike, and then a double play, as it turns out, on a check swing on 3-1. That was a big at bat.
And the double play's been a bone crusher all year long, I feel like, for the Houston Astros.
Runner on the move. The throw is in time. McCann puts it right on the money to get Jason Kipnis. McCann has been throwing better this year and been quicker.
He got his hand in there, though.
Yeah, he left it in there to make that catch and tag, and Kipnis got him on the way by. Brian McCann's doing a better job of throwing that baseball down to second base, but it's where Carlos Correa catches that ball and makes contact. Got him a couple times. That leg came in late.
I thought it was worse than it was, though.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a little bit of a stinger and gets out of the way.
McCann catching his 1,499th game today. Only 30 other catchers in history have caught 1,500 games. I'm not sure if he got him initially.
Yeah, it looked like he just got him on the foot.
Just an awkward position for that wrist to be in and then have that contact too.
It's like that play at first base.
When you go up the line,
it's
right?
the worst. I've told every first baseman, I said, unless it's for something, World Series or something like that, get your hand out of there. Just hopefully it hits the runner. Because there's nowhere for your hand to go. There's nowhere to go.
We've seen a lot of injuries on that play.
Yeah, bad. Cliff Floyd had a really bad one.
Yeah, that was extremely bad, reaching into the baseline. And that always seems to be on those plays where the ball is tailing into the runner coming at you.
The runner's coming at a high rate of speed, and there's nowhere for your arm to go. So it just kind of breaks. I mean, that Cliff Floyd one was terrible. Happened to J.D. Davis in spring training, too.
Yep.
He didn't do anything, but he got his hand caught in there.
Smith misses the edge, facing the pinch hitter Yonder Alonso, and it's 3-2.
Those are the ones I feel bad when guys are trying to learn first base, and you try and tell them that they have no clue what I'm really talking about until they actually get
You almost
in there.
have to have the situation happen before you say, okay, I don't want that to ever happen again.
Exactly.
Checked out J.D. Davis and what he's doing at Fresno this year.
Yes.
My goodness. Just there's no room here.
No.
He'd be playing on a lot of different teams around baseball.
It's
the major league
over
level.
4 something. Isn't it?
He was 430
hitting for
a
the
while.
cycle.
Hitting for the cycle. He's over 400 hitting for the cycle a couple games ago. Smith trying to get through the top half of the 6th, but Alonso giving him a battle here. It's still 3-2. Last night, the Astros winning the opener of this series behind Charlie Morton. Improved to 6-0 on the year, 4-1 win. Today, Corey Kluber was given 3 runs before he even took the mound. It's now a 5-0 game. These two teams will see a lot of each other in the next week plus. Alonso sends one high in the air to right field. Springer calls off Altuve, who's all over the place for the final out.
What's he doing over there?
5-0 game.
Nolan Ryan Beef. Enjoy all the dollar dogs you can eat while watching the Astros take on the Giants this Tuesday night. To get tickets for the next Dollar Dog game, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Astros need some base runners, down 5-0 against the tough customer Corey Kluber. George Springer has a couple of hits tonight. Takes a called strike. Astros have 3 hits. Evan Gattis was hit by a pitch. Then a double play ended the 5th. First time the Astros had a runner get into scoring position against Kluber. And he's ahead of Springer 0-2.
I don't know if it's me. I mean, I feel like when he releases the ball, it stays on the same plane the entire way.
Yeah.
It's different than other dudes.
Oh, yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's a simple delivery. There's nothing really exaggerated to it. But
it just looks like it's
about
easy.
halfway to the plate, as you start to get your swing going, it feels like the baseball makes a decision to go away from it.
You must have a high spin rate.
Check, please.
1-2. 1-2 the count to George Springer. By the way, Terry Francona saying to the media before the game he really appreciates how A.J. Hinch handled all that. Last night, Trevor Bauer had Tyler on his jersey as they have gone back and forth with that nickname. So Francona said he wanted to make sure he told A.J. that he appreciated what could have been a really bad situation. Players have had fun with it now, and hopefully water under the bridge at this point. And we're not seeing Bauer in this series, and won't see him in the series in Cleveland either.
It's not worth making that much of a big deal out of it. It really isn't. I mean,
Well, the man likes attention, so why give him more?
Yeah, I don't.
Keep focus on the game, and I appreciate the fact that A.J. did that, but I also appreciate the fact that Terry Francona recognized it too.
Well, he knew right from the first time. Tito's awesome.
Yeah, what's your here's a breaking ball or a cutter that misses. What's your relationship with Tito, Terry Francona?
I've just always loved him. He's just been nothing but a gentleman and a fun guy to be around. You know, guys like him and AJ, you know, just guys that understand how to deal with people. And that's what I think part of it makes them so successful is, you know, they get respect from guys, but they're also somebody that you could talk to if you had a problem, or if I feel like I'm not playing enough, you can go in there and not feel like you're going to get screamed at. I just think they create an atmosphere of their confidence that helps you breed your own confidence. That, you know, I feel good about myself, and my manager's cool, and he lets me know. And vice versa, when things don't go well, he's going to tell you. He's just going to be honest. And I think when you have honesty with your manager, what else can you say?
Well, that's a big deal to be able to have that honesty and that feedback from a guy who's writing your name in the lineup, because you need to know what adjustments to make to stay in that lineup.
You know, we're all trying to get better. Yep. You know, so I want to know what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. You know, I think that's important. I think both of them do a great job of doing that. And communication is such a big part of this game with society and the way the young kids are now. You got to be able to communicate with those kids. You know, the old school, old guard way. It's kind of dicey in that kind of, you know, in working in the clubhouse. And these two guys have done a tremendous job of being that friend, but also being the guy that they have to be respected.
Well, and to that point, Trevor Bauer, or Tyler Bauer, whatever you want to call him, is one of the more mercurial type guys. He is very set in his ways, and that's kind of what got him traded out of Arizona, is that Arizona didn't want to meet halfway with Trevor. So moving over here to Cleveland, they've really adapted to his way, and he's found some success on the mound for the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, well, nothing gives you more comfortability with somebody if he pitches well.
Yeah. Hey, winning a race is all evil, man.
Altuve, a little soft serve into right field for a base hit.
That's what he does.
So a two-out base runner for the Astros here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Time to play. Name That Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Here are our clues today for our audience. Three-time All-Star, Interstate 75, honored in 2005. If you know who that is, you can send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Another single for the Astros. All four of their hits today have been singles. Here's Carlos Correa. Correa looking for his first hit. He is grounded out and struck out. Of Kluber's 9 strikeouts, his last 3 have been called third strikes. And overall, 6 of the 9 have been hitters looking at a third strike. He has had good stuff from the start.
You know, to both sides of the plate too. I mean, there's no, you can't just zone in on one thing. Or put it this way, maybe you have to zone in on one area because he's on both sides, on both hitters, left and right.
1-1 the count. Correa gets into one deep to left center. This ball's well struck and gone onto the train tracks. The one train has just left Union Station, and the Astros now down 5-2. Kluber had given up 5 home runs in his previous 3 starts combined, and Correa gets his 8th home run of the year.
Carlos has been getting busted inside all year long. What we haven't seen this year in comparison to years past is the ability to clear out that inside, and he absolutely cleared out the front side on this swing.
That goes a long way for a lot of different reasons. For Carlos, knowing that he can get to that ball and do damage with it, and there's going to be a whole bunch of scouting reports on somebody else's deck the next day as he's getting to that ball. So
that's a little frightening when he starts getting to that inside.
Then that opens up a lot of things for him. That ball was well inside for him.
That was a fastball too.
Yeah.
What's the key for him to get to that?
He's got to stay square to start. Same approach, and then just clear your hips. Be athletic. Be what he is. Don't be robot-y. You got to be athletic and just let it fire.
And react.
Right. You react because you stay square, and then you'd be amazed how quick you can be that you're around the second base going, how did I hit that ball?
Well, we saw something similar last night with George Springer's home run when I said he trusted his hands. It was a 2-strike fastball in, and he cleared out that front side. But when Baggy is talking about keeping that, staying square, that means not opening up that front side too early, because if that front side opens up, that's when you lose that barrel and you get underneath it and we see a lot of pop-ups.
Exactly. Well, you know, all these guys, all the work that they do in the cages, and then they take BP and they look at the videotape and all that, it's amazing that if you do it right and you consistently do it in your muscle memory, how quick you fire on your own. It's not like I'm sitting there going, okay, fastball in, I got to stay square, I got to throw my hips and throw my hands on it. You can't do that. It just happens. It's all the preparation that they do before the game, the years of playing baseball, and you get it right, and this is what happens right there. See how he clears his whole front side cleared there?
Yeah, but that front foot was down at great time.
Yes.
The hands were in a great loaded position.
Exactly.
And then immediately when he recognized pitch, he goes dark.
Right.
And just turns on it.
Exactly right. The thought process could be not there. When that's all starting, there is no thought process. All the work you've done will take over.
Yep. This kind of gives you an idea of how far that ball went. Ball was crushed. We talked about it, over 103 miles an hour off that bat. 416 feet.
Strike 3 called. McCann goes down looking. 10 strikeout for Kluber. 7 called third strikes. Carlos Correa, though, gives the Astros a 2 spot. It's now a 5-2 game as we head to the 7th. by BBVA Compass are available for kids 12 and under. Buddies will receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for just $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies today to sign up. Tony Sipp takes over. Joe Smith pitched the 6th inning, and Tony Sipp on for the 7th.
Didn't see Tony out there in Los Angeles. Last time he pitched was here at home against Texas. Went a third of an inning through 3 pitches. 10th appearance on that season.
Facing Rajai Davis, who takes a called strike.
We got to get in the dugout quick after that last inning. Nice fresh in their mind. A 2-run homer by Carlos. Get back in the dugout. This guy stole 50 bases one year, didn't he? Playing half a year.
Unbelievable.
He didn't
speed.
start every game, did he?
No. He's got 8 bags this year. The one batter, as Sipp starts the 7th to Davis, Dallas gave up some hard hit balls in the 1st inning, but the one batter I think he'd like to have back more than any, or as much as any, is Rajai Davis, who he walked to start the 5th inning and came around to score.
Well, any pitcher will tell you that. Walks.
And Davis was 0 for 18 against Dallas in his career, and then that leadoff walk in the 5th. That was the most frustrating inning for Dallas. It just soft contact after soft contact. He finally got the final out on a soft dribbler up the line that he made a great play on. That leadoff walk came around to hurt, score the 4th run.
Well, you know, unfortunately, that's part of the game when you're a field pitcher like that, changing speed type stuff. You're not gonna strike out a ton of guys. The ball's gonna be put in play. So you have to be a little bit lucky in how they hit the ball. And you know, sometimes they're gonna hit a ball down the 3rd base line like they did, and you know, it's unfortunate. It's got to drive you crazy.
That last inning where the Astros scored a couple of runs, they put 20 pitches on Kluber, who's up to 99 in the game. Colin McHugh warming up in the Astros bullpen. Davis gets into one to center, but Tony Kemp is back, running through the sunshine here at Minute Maid Park, makes the play for out number 1.
Got some league leaders, and they're going to be brought to you by Houston Methodist. Houston Astros in 2018 through 55 games have 3 pitchers under a 2 ERA. Charlie Morton snuck under there with his last start to a 1.94. Some guys that have gotten deep into the season. The 1968 Mets through 105 games had 3 pitchers with a sub-2 ERA. Jerry Kuzman, Dick Soma, and Tom Seaver. Just to give you guys a little bit of context.
Bregman nicely to the backhand. Long throw, and Yuli makes the adjustment at first base.
That's it right there, fellas. That's getting the long hop right there to get the ball to bounce up. So you don't need to be in front. You can actually scoot your foot back to the backside of the base.
And you said a lot of this has to do with knowing the timing of the runner coming across also.
So he just stays back there.
Create the long hop.
That's it. When he gets a little bit better at it, he won't have his foot dragged in right in the middle of the base.
I was just going to say,
he hasn't done that a ton.
He doesn't really give Lindor much.
No.
Lindor was very polite in not smashing that thing either.
But that was the way to do that play.
And that's an immediate read off the throw, right?
Yeah, you get a feel for exactly what's going to happen. And what that does, that long hop keeps the ball closer to your eyes. It's not down.
Strike call. That's a play maybe last year as he's learned the position.
Yeah, you're right. It takes. You know what it is? He's starting to feel comfortable around the base. Before it was just like a mad dash to first and trying to find the baseball. You know, I mean, you think about it. Yuli caught the he caught the last play of the World Series with 2 hands.
he wanted to make for darn sure that ball was
catching that ball.
out.
But you know, I mean, the more you play over there, he's going to be fine. He's got good hands. He's been an infielder his whole life. It's Yuli like 47 now.
No comment.
Okay. So he's been playing there a long time. I love Yuli.
0-2 pitch. Correa has to go to his backhand, and he makes the throw in time to get Brantley. Some nice defensive work from the left side of the infield to get through the 7th. 7th inning stretch. It's 5-2.
Today, watching the Astros and the Indians, it is time to name that Astro. Brought to you by Nissan. We asked you, 3-time All-Star, Interstate 75, honored in 2005. And we may have mentioned him at various points during the course of the season. Jimmy Wynn.
How about that? The toy cannon, number 24. 3-time All-Star.
Number 24 retired by the Astros in 2005. Jimmy Wynn, today's Name That Astro. Here's Yuli Gurriel leading off the bottom half of the 7th. It'll be Yuli, Marwin Gonzalez, and Evan Gattis. Kluber starts the inning at 99 pitches. And there's double barrel action going in the Indians bullpen. The lefty is Tyler Olson and the righty is Neil Ramirez.
Really like to get some base runners out there, create traffic, and force Terry Francona to get into that bullpen.
Bullpen, which has been a strength for the Indians in past seasons, has not been the case in 2018. We've seen Corey Kluber throw over 100 pitches 3 times this year, including 116 pitch counting. That ball's into right center field and headed towards the gap all the way to the wall. Yuli to second base, and he's in there with a leadoff double in the 7th.
That's what he does.
He had struck out and ground out his previous 2 at-bats, and that time roped a double to right center.
I love that Yuli makes in-game at-bat adjustments. Not a great pitch, but he's thinking up the middle the other way, and that's what allows him to get on top and drive it that way.
His bat stays in the zone for so long.
It really does.
It stays right from up there, the straight plane to the baseball. That's why he hits line drives. I mean, it's amazing how many line drives or hard hit balls he hits.
And that's from that bat just staying in that zone.
It is. It just stays straight through. It doesn't waver at all. He just takes his hands and puts the barrel straight to the ball. It's beautiful. There's no hitch. He's one of those guys who can take a ball in and shoot it down the right field line, kind of like Altuve can do the same.
At the knees for a strike to Marwin. Marwin, the one guy in the lineup that has had success throughout his career against Corey Kluber. Took a fastball in the left field for a hit his last time up, making him 8 for 16 against the 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
Solid.
On the ground towards the right side, fielded over there by Alonso, who stayed in the game after pinch hitting, and that gets Yuli over to third.
Not what Marwin wanted, but it's a productive out. Gets him over there, chip away with another run. Maybe more.
I was going to say, if you end up scoring, you need to score this run.
Yes.
When this run scores, if they score 1 run in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, this is a tie ball game if they can keep the Indians where they're at. Granted, they would like to have a big swing, put up a crooked number out there, but that runner right now is the one that needs to come in.
So infield back. It's a 3-run game, makes sense. But now you're just looking for some contact. As the pitch misses outside for a ball, it's 1-0.
Well, he's still looking to drive the ball.
Right.
You know, but he just stay through the middle of the diamond. The last thing you want to do is pull a sinker into the third baseman. Other than that, there's nowhere else in the infield that anybody's going to go home.
That pitch, it's 1-1. Astros getting to Kluber for 2 runs last inning on a 416-foot home run off the bat of Carlos Correa. And now Yuli Gurriel at third base with 1 out. Popped up. And that's out number 2. Alonso makes the play. It'll be up to Tony Kemp with 2 outs in this 5-2 game. Kemp grounded out to third and grounded into a double play.
This is another situation where the Astros last year were so good at picking each other up. Not an ideal at bat for Evan Gattis, but last year you saw a lot of guys after that type of situation or that type of out where they'd pick him up with that big 2-out hit.
Yeah, I was listening all last year about two out hits, especially in the later part of the ball games last year. They did a great job of that.
That's been a real downfall early on in the season. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs this season. The Astros are hitting 195.
I think a little bit of that too is, you know, they know that, and that adds, you know, pressure to guys in certain situations that you feel like you got to do more. Especially when you're facing a guy like Kluber, you really gotta grind it and make sure you're at least giving them, you know, your best chance to get a hit and to drive a ball in that situation. Hit a ball in the air to right center, or, you know, hit a ground ball. You got to grind it out in those situations.
But I think you also do have to give credit to the opposing pitchers who have made adjustments this year in those situations.
Of course.
Too.
I mean, let's be honest. It's a heck of a lot easier to pitch than it is to hit a baseball. They have the ball in their hand.
A little more control of the situation.
So that's why you got to grind it out. And when you get situations like that, that's what you got to take advantage of.
Kemp had the biggest hit in last night's game, giving the Astros a 2-1 lead, eventually in a 4-1 win. Big spot here as Kluber about to make his 110th pitch of the day. Ground ball off the glove of Alonso. He stays with it though and makes the play for the final out of the inning. So the Astros threatened but failed to score. Still down 3.
Big royal wedding day, and which couple in Houston is most majestic? I guess the Astro fans are watching this broadcast because it is overwhelmingly Altuve and Correa being the most majestic couple. I'd have to agree. A lot of people wanted to ride in Biggio Bagwell.
Yeah. That would have been interesting.
Come on, man.
You guys forever linked.
Yes. It's all right. Nothing wrong with being linked to Craig Biggio, a Hall of Famer. I'm cool with that.
Jose Ramirez leading off. Facing a new pitcher, Colin McHugh, who's done a real nice job out of the bullpen this year.
He has, really embracing that role and doing a good job. The velocity is a little bit of a tick up. I think that's helping him out. And I also think that that slider has gotten better for Colin McHugh. Did well last time out on the 15th in Anaheim against the Angels, going 2 solid innings. Got a couple of punch outs in there and qualified for that 1 win you see.
Great numbers for McHugh. Appearing in his 14th game, and there's a nice curveball dropped in there for a strike. It's 1-2. McHugh facing Ramirez and Edwin Encarnacion and Brandon Geyer, 3, 4, and 5 in the Indians lineup. Indians scored 3 in the first, added 1 in the 5th, 1 more in the 6th to take a 5-0 lead, and then Carlos Correa answered in the bottom of the 6th with a 2-run home run. That's where we are, 5-2 headed to the 8th. We're getting some word from the Indians broadcast that Andrew Miller may not be available today. If that's the case, that kind of changes the dynamic of the last 6 outs for Terry Francona. Right now, no bullpen action going. His starter has thrown 110 pitches. Two pitches down and in, the count's full. Indians bullpen, fewest innings. If you go by innings per game, though, the Astros would be the fewest. And then that ERA, Blummer?
Ooh, not pretty at 5.68. But Terry Francona is awfully happy. He only has to deal with 6 outs in this afternoon's game.
And nobody's up.
That's the crazy part. I'm waiting to see what happens after this first out. And if nobody's still warming at that point, then you got to think it's Kluber's 8th at 110 pitches.
I mean, he'll be fine. He's been doing this for a long time.
See, I know that the mentality of the modern day pitcher. Oh, that's a strike, but he doesn't get the call. That looked like it was a pretty good pitch. And instead, it's ball 4.
Oh, right down the middle.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch. Didn't hit his spot, but still he had a pretty good view of the fact that a lot of that baseball caught the inside corner.
Not sure how a hitter takes that at 3-2, but he draws the walk.
That's what guys that take high in the MVP, they get that pitch.
A little respect
Yeah,
call there.
they do.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion. Jose Ramirez on for the 3rd time today. Double an infield hit and now a walk. Encarnacion takes a strike.
He will run too.
What'd I do now?
No, I said Ramirez will run too.
No, he definitely will.
Yeah.
He's got 6 bags on the season also.
Up high, it's 1-1.
I mean, you can look at Cleveland, how they played, you know, the first quarter of the season. I mean, they're a good baseball team. They really are. They do a lot of things right. They play good defense. They got good pitchers. They got an ace in Kluber. Carrasco, who we'll see tomorrow, is pretty good. They're a good baseball team. Great manager.
They can go through this little start,
Yeah.
and be fine
With that division
in
they're
that
in,
division.
for sure. Yeah.
And Blummer brought up a great point. Oakland winning again today. They're now 24-22, and you don't even hear about the A's. They're a young team.
Yeah.
Well, that's 4 out of the 5 teams in the American League West that are above 500.
Right.
That's some tough competition. And to Baggy's point, when they start playing up to their capabilities, the Indians, and they start to play teams within their division, the Tigers are having a rough year. The Minnesota Twins have backed off a little bit. Kansas City Royals don't have much left, and then the young Chicago White Sox. So those are wins waiting to happen for them if they're right.
Yeah, they'll be beating some people up here pretty soon in June and July.
They will be done with the Astros and the Chicago Cubs, for that matter, before they play the White Sox for the first time.
That's incredible.
Swing and a miss at a 2-2 fastball. Encarnacion goes down swinging. 1 out of the 8th. Are you the ultimate Southwest fan? Use hashtag UltimateSWFanWTX on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. West Texas May is your month. Your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big.
Colin's done a nice job for us too out of the bullpen.
Great job.
You know, he kind of, with all the additions that we made, he kind of got pushed into a spot, but he had to get in the bullpen. I think he's done a great job. And tip my hat to him to go and being professional and doing great work out there.
He's on an 11 consecutive scoreless appearance run, including 21 strikeouts and 14 1/3 innings scoreless.
That's the thing that surprised me the most, is the amount of strikeouts he's been getting.
And Blummer mentioned that fastball velo's up a little bit.
Yep, the slider now that he throws.
in a bunt attempt, he takes a first strike.
Buckled him.
Yeah, started out at his hip. Yep.
Throws that slider a little more to the righties. That 80-mile-an-hour slider. Curveball comes in around 74.
I got to imagine Ramirez is going to try and run here at some point.
He was definitely leaning.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw that, but he was definitely leaning.
His lead's been fairly short, but he definitely may have been leaning on that last pitch. It's 1-2.
Why do you say it's a good spot for him to steal? Or that you feel that he might?
Well, you know, they're getting towards the bottom of their lineup a little bit. It's just a good time. I mean, they got a 5-2 lead. You know, I would imagine for sure if they get the 2 outs, he will definitely try and run. It's the right time to run.
Stays alive.
And there's certain times in a game when you get in games like this, not quite this situation in a 5-2 game, where you know you got to take some chances. You know, you start facing guys in the bullpen, guys that are strikeout pitchers and things like that. You're not going to generally, you know, you start getting towards the 8th inning, you're not going to get 3 hits in a row or something like that to score a run. You got to try and push the envelope a little bit.
And if you've got the speed to do it, it keeps you out of the double play.
You know, and we have guys like that on our team that we just haven't done it that much in the last couple of years. You know, I think with you know George and Bregman and Correa, I mean, they could steal bases. They could. I mean, they just have to do it and get used to comfortable doing it.
On the move there, but off to come back after the foul ball.
It's just another dimension to a ball club. You know, when you go in, you know, slumps as a club where you're just not hitting, you got to take advantage of certain things because, you know, like I said, you're gonna have to get 3 base hits. You know, you haven't been hitting home runs. You know, you're not gonna get the 3-run home and stuff like that. You got to kind of just push the envelope a little bit.
Use those legs.
Yes.
That explodes.
That was a good one. Looked like it may have caught the cup in that bat. Sent splinters flying everywhere.
Did you ever use a cup bat?
I did a little bit, but I really wasn't a big fan of it.
I'm not even sure what it does. I think it's supposed to take the weight out of the barrel.
Yeah, it kind of pushes the weight towards the center of the bat.
If I thought I could get a hit off the end of it, I'd use one. The problem with me is it would hit the end of the cup and it would spin right to the first baseman. At least the lefty yours would spin down the third baseline. Lefties would get all the birds. They do. You got a first baseman on there. Got all that hole right there.
Oh.
You're closer to the bag when you swing.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's tough.
Yeah, but then you hit a bullet to the first baseman, and he's standing there telling the pitcher, "Hey, I got it." And I've got to run all the way down there as you tiptoe to the bag.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I had to tiptoe into the dugout and a whole bunch of strikeouts, too. That wasn't fun either. Just deal with it.
Little meeting at the mound here. You guys were talking about stolen bases. We heard from Tony Kemp after the game last night about his steal in last night's game. And here's a listen with Preston Wilson interviewing him.
Another part of your game, base stealing. I looked at you tonight. You did a really smart thing. You got your peek in. You didn't move your head. Just used your eyes. Saw something you're looking for. What were you looking for right there?
Well, I knew it was a fastball count, and it was going to be a heater in, and you know, he yanked it a little bit and it was away. But you know, for a catcher to throw a fastball in down to second base, I know it's tough, and I know that he was around a 1-3, so I like to take my chances right there.
He's looking for a pitch location.
Yeah, well, what he's doing right there, when you're leading off of first base, a lot of catchers are starting to clean it up a lot now, but their legs are spread apart, and you can see at times what pitch is coming by the fingers that he's putting down, because he's not putting a sequence down there because there's nobody on second base. So you might be able to catch where a 2 for a breaking ball, maybe a changeup. For guys like me, that's when I can run. 1-3 is a little quick for me. But for Tony, that's fine. You know, that's just a little advantage that you got to take out there. You know, at second base, you'll see a guy nowadays, they throw the spike curveball. So you'll see the spike on his finger sitting up off a baseball where you know he's going to throw a curveball. Chances are it's going to be low and in the dirt. Possibly that's a good time to run and try and steal third. So you're trying to get every little advantage you can. And when you can run like Tony and you can do that, obviously you get you a better chance with the, you know, he's thinking fastball in.
Late in the game, you also, as a base runner, that catcher's tired. He's been squatting back there for 6, 7 innings. So sometimes those thighs get a tendency to get a little wide. And that's when you really kind of can clue in there and see what you can get the sign. But when you have a catcher like Gaddis is right there, who's got it really deep in there. I mean, like McCann has got it deep in there. And then you really have to make sure that you're either seeing a sign or you're checking out his forearm. I always looked at the forearm because when you flash that 5 for the pickoff, you see the tendons and muscles in the forearm really flexing. So as long as I don't see that, I know that I got a sign that's a pitch, and then I move to location. And if it's inside to a right-handed batter, then I can go. Got him.
Got him. Jose Ramirez is picked up, but he went out of the baseline, says the second base umpire. Jeremy Rehat, rookie umpire, says Ramirez avoided the tag but went out of the baseline, so he is called out. They don't make the tag, but it works out anyhow. Due up for the Astros in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Top of the order, George Springer, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve.
Ball. Hitting some bombs back at the Astrodome. How many adjustments did you make from this swing early on in your career till later in the career back here at what was Enron, now Minute Maid Park?
I made probably 3 big ones. I started a little bit up, and I would crouch down as the pitch was coming up, like Don Mattingly did for the Yankees. And then I messed around with everything I could until Tony Gwynn signed a bat to me and said, keep the same stance. So I said, okay, I'll try what Tony does, spread out a little bit so my head doesn't move. And somehow I came up with that. Then I got here and nobody pitched in at all, so I changed my stance to close it up a little bit so I could hit the ball out to right field.
Yeah, because you could see that early on in the Astrodome, that front side open a little bit.
They're totally different. They used to pitch in a lot back then, and then they stopped pitching in.
George Springer leading off the bottom half of the 8th inning, facing a new pitcher, Neil Ramirez.
But don't try that at home.
You make it sound easier. It's not easy to change your stance.
No, it's not, but it's a constant. This game is constant change. As far as I know, nobody's ever perfected this game, so there's always room for improvement in everything you can do, and I was just trying to get better.
Ramirez with a fastball at 96 and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, Ramirez is the one guy that comes out of Terry Francona's bullpen and actually can get to 95 plus. Has a slider to go with that fastball.
Of course he does.
Corey Kluber out of the game after 7 strong innings. George tries to hold up, but he goes around. It's 1-2. Kluber 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Did not walk a batter, struck out 10. And 7 of those 10 were on called third strikes. Ramirez facing the top of the order for the Astros. Springer down to the count 1-2. George sends one down the right field foul line, and a long run, and running into the stands is Brandon Geyer. And he's in a little bit of pain.
I'm not sure if that's the lower half or the top half. A lot of fans reaching for that baseball. Might have gotten glove to the jaw. Definitely shook up. He was going all out too. Ow. The blue glove looked like it made the catch, and then he ran in and knocked it out of the glove.
He's like, hey man, that was mine.
Well, this is a little bit better fan interference. Well, just in the sense that it's in the stands.
Yeah, that's fans'
territory. Reach onto the field to play.
Yeah, we could have used that in the right field for Bregman's homer that day.
Yeah, we could have. Yeah, but there was pretty good contact between Geyer's skull and that fan's right hand, left hand.
A drawing blow. Terry Francona out there to check on him. At this point, a lot of it's going to be about the concussion protocol, making sure he's okay.
You see Tito right there. He's always got a smile and a laugh. He made Geyer laugh. So just another reason how special he is.
Tito's probably like, this better be worth it, because I did not want to.
That's way too far for me to go out.
Now he's trying his best.
You're embarrassing me in front of everybody, looking at me run. My pants are too tight. Knee brace on.
He's like, this is my top speed right now.
Look at this.
One of the best.
He is, I promise you.
Terry Francona. Well, Geyer's okay. Springer with the long foul ball.
Seems to be some concern about Terry.
You see it?
He's a little winded. It's 1-2. And a swing and a miss. So Ramirez picks up a strikeout. First batter he faces. Springer now 2 for 4 on the day.
11 strikeouts on the afternoon for Houston Astro hitters.
Here's Alex Bregman 0 for 3. Maggie, you know as well as anybody watching all these games, Bregman's hitting some tough luck here.
He really has. And his approach is great. I think he's a little frustrated, obviously. You do things right, and that's the tough part about this game, man. You can do it right, and you can square up some balls, but like I said, there's a whole bunch of dudes standing out there in the grass and in the dirt to catch your line drives. And he's had his fair share of line drives caught. It gets frustrating, in this game. You got to grind it out, man. It's a long year. Every once in a while somebody will say something ridiculous to you. Well, it would all even out.
I mean, come on, man.
It never even comes close to even out.
Nope.
So I think he struggles with that one too, and I get that. But if he continues the same approach, Bregman's going to be a great player in this game for a long time. He likes to play baseball, and I'm not saying it's a dying breed, but I mean this is a guy that wakes up thinking about baseball and goes to sleep thinking about baseball. And I just love him. I just think he's a baseball player, and I love to see that. Those are the kind of guys that I want on my team.
Yesterday had a home run taken away by Greg Allen going over the wall.
Somebody's got to block that guy with his glove in his head. He wouldn't have caught it.
Bregman with a 3-1 count. Astros down by 3. They still have 5 outs to work with, and a possibility of no Andrew Miller today, as the Indians are saying he's been dealing with some back issues on their broadcast. 3-1 pitch hit deep to left field. Looking up is Brantley. Gone! Alex Bregman! A solo home run makes it a 2-run game.
Told you.
Can't field him up there.
No, you can't catch that one.
He is so compact.
Yeah, you're going to watch on this swing right now, like Blummy just said, how compact he is. Watch him stay in his leg and just explode.
No, he's a lot of fun. Just a slight bit of a load.
That thing right there, and watch him in his legs. Right in his legs, right there. Look at that.
Well, we talk about that soft front side. He gets that foot down, but that knee is bent a little bit.
That's what it has to be.
And not until he gets to contact when he tightens that thing up.
That's exactly how it works.
Oh,
You're using all your whole body. You're using all your core, your legs. That's where your power comes from with guys like Alex, guys like me, smaller guys that have to use their legs to hit. It's beautiful when it's done. When you see it like that, I mean, you just go back and look at that. If those guys, which they do down there, love looking at tape, it's not so much where the ball went, it's just watch the lower half of his body and what it does. Because his mechanics are so good that Alex actually gets too quick. He's so mechanically sound that he's too quick. He has to let the ball get to him.
No, I agree with you. He doesn't need much to get that baseball going. And you're right. He has to be extremely patient in letting that ball come to him.
Travel. We talked a whole bunch about that, which all the guys, to focus on the center of the field, right center. The rest of it will take care of itself.
And that could have been a situation where he is sitting middle away, but he was ready to ready to react and quick enough that he turns it into a pulled home run.
And it's the same thing we talked about with Carlos.
Watch the soft front leg gets down early, but it's not a stiff front leg, so he's soft.
A little flex in it right there.
And then at contact, everything tightens up because he's hitting against it.
Right. We talked about the same thing with Correa.
I like this line through the body here too on that backside.
You want to teach your kid. There's a good one there too.
Altuve deep to right center field. Long run for Geyer. It's off the wall, and it's a double, automatic double bouncing into the fence. That hit the wall and bounced over the wall.
It's a homer. You try it. I mean, it's Altuve. You got to give it to him.
I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess I would have to hear why that's not a home run. It hit the fence.
It did hit the ground.
And it did not hit the ground. It stayed in flight and bounced into the. That should be a home run. I don't see how that's not a home run.
That's an unusual looking home run, but you're right. It never hits the ground.
It never hit the ground. It did not hit a player. It went straight from the fence in the air. That should be a home run.
This will be the lore of Altuve will continue to grow if this thing works out. And
that's
I know
what I was thinking.
it has to work out. He hit it.
It's got to be a home run.
Why is that? Yeah. How would it be it never hit the
I
ground?
told you.
It's a home run.
Right. If it hit somebody's head and it went over, it's a homer. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's amazing.
Jose Altuve hits one off the bottom part of the fence, and it's a home run.
Only Altuve, man.
When you're good, you're good.
It's unbelievable.
That is a beautiful thing right there. Terry Francona can't believe it, but he has no argument.
You can't. It's like it hit somebody in the head and went over. What's the difference?
This is awesome.
This is so special.
I mean, the swing's great, but just the way it finishes up right here is truly unbelievable.
Oh my goodness! Did that hit the fence and then go down
Yes.
and then back up?
It hit the cross beam. It hit the post. Then it's the bottom, and then it bounces up.
Well, the chain link, the padding is there's a little bit of a ledge. Then it gets to the chain link, so there's a little bit of a gap right there that only Jose Altuve can find. And he hits it on the corner where it's actually angled into the stands.
You could not stand out there and throw a baseball off of that 50 times and make that happen. There's no chance.
That is
Oh, he called it a double.
Whoa, how was that a double?
Oh, here comes AJ. We'll see what shape he's in.
I want to know how that's a double.
I don't either. I'm with you on this, Preston. What if it hit off his head and went over his fence?
A glove.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Neil Ramirez gives up a double instead of the home run. And Terry Francona got the call turned over, and now he's going to take Neil Ramirez out of the game.
Bill Miller didn't look that confident about it when he got to third. Like, that look on his face was like, I guess this is what it is.
Pitching change. We'll come back in a 5-3 game.
Restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Terry Francona needed a pinch coach to go out there and check on Geyer last inning.
He ran 200 feet out there and ended up checking his pulse on the way back.
Is that why he has the scooter back in Cleveland?
He does.
Okay.
Takes the scooter back and forth with his downtown place, his downtown residence in Cleveland. Well, Cody Allen's on here. In 1 out in the 8th inning, he's their closer. They're going to go for a 5-out save, it appears, as he takes over here in his 18th game of the year.
That's a lot to ask of anybody, but Cody Allen has a pretty strong history of closing out games for Cleveland. Pretty good ERA with a 3.18, but it's been interesting here in the month of May. He's pitched 4 1/3 innings in the month of May and given up 3 runs. That comes out to a 6.23 ERA in the month of May.
Altuve in scoring position. Astros have the tying run at the plate in Carlos Correa, who hit a 2-run home run his last time up. Doesn't chase. Takes a pitch outside, 1-0. Todd Kalish, Jeff Blum, Jeff Bagwell, Preston Wilson. Never sells the ball game as the Indians led 5-0 heading to the bottom of the 6th. Now the Astros have brought the tying run to the plate in the 8th inning.
Wow.
It's a good pass, I think.
Yeah, it was.
That was aggressive. I like that. You don't see Carlos do that very often like that.
Yeah, breaking ball. You can see the look on his face afterwards. He knew he just missed that. Wanted that one bad. Cody Allen got away with one.
Correa high to left field, pretty deep. Carries Brantley all the way to the wall.
World Series.
Makes the catch just shy of the wall. Altuve hustles back to second. That was almost a repeat of that high home run in the World Series. Carlos just got under that one.
He's got a good arm, huh?
He almost picked off Altuve going back to second.
Just missed it, but the right idea trying to get around it and yank it into that Crawford box.
I like that a lot.
Allen gets a lot of fly balls as he's out there with a 44% fly ball rate, the most out of their bullpen. And Correa just got under that fly ball.
Well, that'd be nice. I'm ready for it, too. Get to witness it.
Brian McCann hitting here against Cody Allen.
That one's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that? Okay. Just wanted to double check. It'd be a great time for it.
It would be a real good time for it.
I wonder if that fastball from Allen was because of the swing that he saw from Carlos Correa on that curveball. You can scare that pitcher off it by taking a pretty good pass.
No doubt about that.
Upstairs, it's 2-0.
Here we go.
Terry Francona going to his closer, 1 out into the 8th inning. Can't ask about the location of that pitch. It's 2-1.
They're trying to come in, but up and in. Just on that edge.
Now he breaks the slider over. Curveball at 83. It's 2-2.
See Titchener with his hand out pointing at the batter's box. After that take, you're supposed to stay in the box, and instead of recognizing the moment, He asked Brian McCann to get back in the box.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
McCann, high fly ball to right field, playable. Geyer is there, puts it away for the final out. Strange play with Altuve batting. Ruled a double. For a moment, it was a home run. Park offers fans a variety of premium seating opportunities, including club and suite level seats for any group size. Visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your suite today. New pitcher for the Astros in the 9th inning of a 5-3 game is Hector Rondon.
Hector Rondon making his 17th appearance. Firm fastball in the mid-90s and a good slider when he is on. ERA is pretty nice at 2.45 and 16 strikeouts in 14 2/3 innings pitched. Last pitched in against the Texas Rangers here on the 13th. They just received our explanation of Altuve's double to right field. After reviewing all the relevant angles, the replay official definitively determined that the ball struck the facing of the outfield wall and was no longer in flight. Therefore, the call is overturned from a home run to a double.
No longer in flight.
I'm guessing that that yellow line indicates if it hits the yellow line and goes over, it's a home run. Correct?
Yes.
Yep.
But because it was below the yellow line, because it will hit the pad right in that region, then ricochet off the wall down here and end up in the stand. So therefore, anything below that yellow line is considered in play.
So to Baggy's point, if that ricochets off the fence and hits Geyer in the shoulder and goes over, that's still not a home run, I guess.
But what if it?
It has to almost hit the fielder on the fly and not below, not on the fence below that yellow line.
Because we've seen it off the skull of Jose Canseco. We've seen guys catch it and have the glove go over and the ball go over, and that's a home run. But since the fence is in the field of play, that's their explanation.
It's one of those plays you'll probably never see again. It's unbelievable.
And that's probably what made them call it a home run to begin with.
One out here in the top half of the 9th inning. Jason Kipnis will bat after Jan Gomes was retired. Kipnis has been on base a couple of times, a double and a walk. Rondon picks up a strike on the outside corner. No bullpen action for the Indians. Cody Allen has not gone more than an inning in a save situation this year. He has pitched more than an inning twice. In a tie game, he pitched 2 innings and an inning and a third as Rondon flips one underhand for the second out. The Astros will have Yuli Gurriel, Marwin Gonzalez, and Evan Gattis up in the bottom of the 9th.
The Astros road ahead is driven by DeMontronRV.com. One more here Sunday night against these Cleveland Indians, and then the Astros get to enjoy a day off before welcoming in Bruce Bochy and his San Francisco Giants, and then it's back out on the road. 4 against these Indians, head into the Bronx against the Yankees, and then back home against the Boston Red Sox, Seattle Mariners, and Texas Rangers.
2 outs, bases empty. Yonder Alonso bats for the second time. Came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th and flied out to right. As I mentioned, the Indians and their ability to get on a run. They're currently on a road trip where they have 2 off days on the trip, the one preceding this series and the one after the series on Monday. Going to Chicago, play the Cubs for 2 games, and then after that series with the Cubs, they play 7 out of 8 series against either the White Sox, the Twins, or the Tigers. So they are sitting in their division for 7 out of 8 with only Milwaukee in that mix. So even though they're right around 500 right now,
that can change in a hurry against those opponents.
Rondon trying to get through the 9th ahead of the count 0-2. Taps the foul. On the Astros schedule, they have a day game with the Giants on Wednesday. They'll be in Cleveland by the time the Indians are getting ready to play the Cubs on Wednesday night, and the 2 teams will start a 4-game series at Progressive Field the next day. Up high, it's 1-2.
We got to play some baseball coming up here. Yankees, Red Sox, and Cleveland again.
Yep.
Swing and a miss, Rondon. A 1-2-3 inning, finishing it off with a strikeout. Astros need 2 in the bottom of the 9th. Go places. And by Jack in the Box, try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. Astros down 2, bottom half of the 9th inning. Cody Allen going for a rare 5-out save. Rare in these days. Not as rare back in the 90s, 80s, 70s. Yuli 1 for 3 with a double his last time up.
They even gave you a cheat sheet.
He did.
Come on, Yuli, get this thing going.
One the count.
Well, that's why he's so long to his own. It's beautiful.
The amount of time the bat stays in the zone.
Yeah, it's perfect. Him and Bregman's.
Yeah, we had a chance to watch a replay of his base hit, one of his base hits up the middle yesterday. locked him up with that heater. But he did such a good job of bringing those hands inside, getting them tight to the body. But the barrel, as soon as it got to that contact point and the extension like Baggy was talking about through the zone was so impressive.
Doesn't chase there. It's 2-2. You know how important this game is for Terry Francona with Andrew Miller nursing a little back issue. He's going to his closer for 5 outs today. In the air to right field. Geyer underneath it.
Watch the Astros in more ways than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or you can visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account, and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
Nice job.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good. Even ad-libbed a little bit of that, too.
Got to massage it in there every once in a while.
Marwin Gonzalez, the batter. Marwin takes a pitch in the dirt, checked his swing. Josh Reddick, who didn't play in last night's game, scratched from the lineup, is on deck. He will be a pinch hitter for Evan Gattis. This is it for Terry Francona. He is not going to the bullpen after this one. It's Cody Allen and Cody Allen alone this inning. Pops out. It's 2-0.
Bad spot. Right in the glove.
Way to knock down that ball out of the letters.
Keep it in front.
Marwin deep to right field. Geyer to the wall. Watches it go. Home run, Marwin. We have a 1-run game.
That's that happy spot for a left-handed hitter, but it's also that fastball that we know Marwin can turn on. Wanted that fastball down and away, yanked it. That was barreled up there.
It's amazing how short he can get with how low his hands are.
So quick.
Yeah. Strong.
Now Josh Reddick with a pinch hit appearance, hitting for the DH Evan Gattis. Reddick represents the tying run at the plate. Second home run allowed by Cody Allen this year, 18 in the third inning. Reddick lays off. Allen has a 2-0 count again.
Get it ready and don't miss it.
Reddick has faced Allen as much as anybody in this Astros dugout. Up high, 3-0.
Good discipline by Josh Reddick. He had an idea in his head of what he wanted to attack, didn't get it, and laid off it to get to that 3-0 count.
That's all right.
Yeah, make him do it again.
So this right here, though, as a hitter, though, I don't know if you're sitting there thinking I'm going to go deep. You just got to stay through it and see what happens. Otherwise, you're going to get big and long, and you end up popping it up. So,
And heads out of play, 3-2.
as a hitter, you get in these situations, you get a little goosey, and you want to do something a little bit more than normal. And it's just human nature, especially after your boy just went deep in front of you. But,
And you know with one swing, you tie this thing back up.
But We got to get somebody on first because, I mean, it's not going to win the game for us. I mean, it's just something to calm yourself down. And Brad does a good job of that. He knows his limitations and his strengths as well as anybody.
And another veteran that knows the situation, too. You got it?
I got that.
Too high.
Yeah.
Mentioned Allen's out here for a 5-out save. Once he starts to get closers in that 30 pitch range, he's at 22 now. That's uncomfortable territory for them. Reddick with a good AB. Down in the count, or ahead of the count 3-0, then 3-2. He drives one to center field. Back on it goes Davis. He'll have a play and puts it away.
Without Towles Hill out there, are you surprised, or are you not surprised that there haven't been more home runs in center? Because it's still pretty deep to shoot that thing out to center field.
Yeah, but it's not Towles Hill.
Yeah.
And that's reachable.
Another 25 feet.
That's reachable. Yeah, I've seen some guys do it, but I'll tell you what it does. It should make you better as a hitter because you don't have to be early or late. You can stay with the best. The best plan of hitting is gap to gap, and you can still reach center field. So I think it's beneficial. But yeah, but it's, you know,
Still got to get it.
oh yeah, you got to still hit it. But it's part of being in play because before, I mean, there's only been, I don't know, 5 or 6 dudes that ever hit it over the Towles Hill up there.
Tony Kemp in his 4th at bat, looking for his first hit.
You know, Tony right here, we got to get him on base. It's the most important thing, give George a chance.
Yeah, Cody Allen knows that too.
Yes, he does.
Big out, makes some good pitches. If he gets on and you turn this lineup over, who knows what's about to happen.
Astros have battled back down 5-0. And a nice breaking ball there, the curveball for a strike. Astros down to their final strike. Spoils the high fastball. To make the play to first, which they do, and this game is over. The Indians hold on to win it. Had a 5-0 lead. Astros battle back with 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. All scoring on home runs, Correa, Bregman, and Marwin Gonzalez, but they fall 1 short today. The Indians win 5-4 to even up this series at a game apiece. We'll have more from Minute Maid Park. The post-game show is also coming up right after this.